All right. I think we're going. Think we're going? I think we're
so.
going. Live stream. Hey, fun, fun, fun. All right. I'm going to go and check and make sure it's going.
Keep them entertained.
Keep currently nobody entertained. And I'll be right back.
Hello, friends that aren't here yet. If you are here, say hello in the chat. Seven's just going to check and make sure that it's working. And then he'll be back. And we'll move over here for a second. Oh, he is so high. This chair has wheels, so very possible I could fall off. Yay, it's Saturday. It's still snowing a little bit here, although surprisingly, nothing like what's been going on the West Coast. Let us know if you've been snowed in places that never get snow. We've had it pretty cold here, but not too much snow so far. So we've been okay. There's a little bit of snow today. Usually we get a lot of snow in January or February. Oh, hello. I'm manning the desk at my pinball arcade in Vermont. Hi, David. I hope things are going well on your Saturday night in Vermont. We had our lull. Usually folks clear out around 5:36. They go home, they get their dinner, and then we get our second shift that comes in, and that started just now. So I hope you guys are having a good group of people down there as well. Are you just pinball, David, or do you have other machines? When we first opened, we were just pinball, and then we put some coin drop video arcades on the other side. And then when they were selling the building, we moved those over here, and while we're primarily pinball, we do have some video arcades. I'm always interested to know how other people set their arcades up. I'd also be interested in knowing what your demographic is. When we went down to visit our friend Bob, who has Bob's Retrovolt Arcade in Anaheim, he said that it was actually younger women were a really large demographic, and here we don't really have any demographic. It's everybody. Just the attract sound from, the little heart thing is over at Fireball to keep me company. We've had to turn some of the attract sounds down on our machines. They can get pretty loud. Today, Strange Science is kind of on the fritz. It's been resetting itself to coin drop. And when it does that, it also resets the attract mode sound. And if you haven't heard it, it's on par with Comet. Comet has that attract sound where it does this long, high-pitched squeal that just gets louder and more tonal the longer it goes on, that just makes you want to push the button to start it. And it's more, it doesn't attract you to the game, but you're so annoyed you need to push it. Same thing with Strange Science. It's got the little neon at the top. And it does this weird high-pitched pulsing sound when the neon's on. So it's been switching itself onto attract mode. There's a few others we've had to turn down. Hard Body also has some epic attract sound, and we've turned those down just because they're a little, what's the word? What's the word for the attract sound on Hard Body? Because it can be not embarrassing.
The ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, startling to some people. David's joining us from his pinball arcade. What is your arcade called, David, down in Vermont? Fireball. Attract sounds are keeping him company right now.
Awesome.
Just pinball.
Just pinball.
Turn off the attract sounds.
I leave them on. I like it.
Well, not all of them. There are some that we've turned down. I was saying, like, the Strange Science is turned down because it's a little bit annoying. Hard Body because the ooh-oohs. We leave some of them on.
Well, usually I leave the strange science one on, but it apparently reset itself. I have to check the batteries. So,
Yeah.
and I can't remember. It's one of those weird Valley programming keypad type things, and it's got weird numbers for what the different attract modes are. And
Gravitate pinball.
yeah, so I forget what it's supposed to be, so I just turned it off. Let's look up Gravitate Pinball.
I was doing that too. I love when we find new arcades and folks that join the chat. There was accounts. Gravitate. There's no. Are you on Instagram? I can't find you on Instagram. I was gonna follow you.
That gravitatepinball.com, is that it?
Does it say it's in Vermont?
Yes, that's it. That must be it. I just accepted your cookie request. Just letting you know.
Wow, we've got lots of folks that visit there. Let's look up. Cool. Oh. No Instagram, sorry. That's okay. Saves you time, I'm sure.
You know, I need to set up a new scene on this so that when I look up a web page, it'll show up on the feed. I'll do that next time. I'll get one of those set up. Because if I do it now, I'll just make a mess of things, I'm sure. Well, let's see. I could do. Let's see. Browser. That's the name of this. Wait. All right. I'll do that later.
We'll fiddle with it later. Oh, that's cool. Well, nice to meet you, David from Gravitate Pinball. How long have you been doing that for? We had plans for our arcade for a long time, but only came to fruition in July of 2022. Thanks, pandemic.
Well, we tried to set up in the Vancouver, BC area. Customers.
Yay! Oh.
I'll wait for I'll wait for him to get back so he can hear our horrible story. Actually, while maybe I'll do the browser thing here.
We're here. You just
All right,
can't
I'm
see
gonna
us,
make a new
friends.
scene. So if
Careful.
what I want to do is I want to copy. I do this. I can just so things don't go crazy. I can take this and I can copy it. I go down here. And then I go over here to the microphone and I copy that. And then I go over here. And now you should be able to hear us. So now it's just the void, us, and our microphones. So now I can do a source, browser.
Add existing.
But I don't have one yet. You just added a browser source. Oh, I see what I'm doing. That's not what I want to do.
Well, put in the URL. GravitatePinball.com.
That's not what we want. Nuke that. Nuke that.
Browser. Sign out. Only streaming and most pinball streamers are on Twitch, and they allow streaming on several platforms. Hello, sign out. Yes, we do have a Twitch. We're just not currently streaming on both. We go back and forth so that we can stream separately. Encourage people to watch both. We are trying to bring up a browser
Sure.
screen.
I'm not gonna do it. I'll do it later.
That's fair.
Yeah, we actually started streaming on Twitch originally, and that was okay. But we actually have more subscribers and other things on YouTube. So the first time that we tried streaming on YouTube, we actually got a whole lot more people joining chat and chatting and hanging out and all of that. The one thing I want to try is, because we interact with chat when we're streaming so much, that I have to do sort of a thing where if someone says something to us in Twitch, we see it, and when someone says something to us in YouTube, we see it. And there is a way that we can do that, and we can actually glue it to the screen so that we can see everything goes by and it's saved on the video recording and stuff. And that's the other thing I like too is about YouTube, streaming on YouTube, is that recording stays on YouTube. On Twitch, it purges away. It eventually goes away after a couple of weeks. So if you look at our Twitch account, there's nothing there because we haven't really streamed anything or done anything for a little while on there. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, we probably will do both eventually. But tonight, we're just kind of hanging out. We thought we'd stream just for the heck of streaming. Change our scene. Oh, you know what I have?
What do you have?
I have Camera Safari.
Oh, that's
So
right.
I can go out later. I can go out and
Show the
check
new
out
lights.
the new lights on our Camera Safari.
Excellent. Yeah, the folks next door put up some of those kind of Edison style light bulbs that are really popular right now. And they're just white, but they look really good on the buildings inside and half of their front. So we got the same ones, except ours are multicolored, and
Yeah,
we can
ours
set
are
it with one of those remotes. So Seven went out and connected them. So now the whole building has those lights. Half of them are white, and then our half, like everything else in here, is groovy, multicolored, fun, crazy time.
I don't care what platform. I'll check you out wherever you are. Here we are.
Yay! No, we appreciate it. We want to stream on both. We've done them both separately, but I think it would be easier eventually to just stream at the same time. But we want to make sure we have the chat integration, because the last chat we got so behind on comments, which is fun.
So we got news. Back in October, I think it was October last year, we put our, well,
October the year
2022.
before. It's 2024 now. So
Yes,
it's not
October
last year.
2022, we put our deposit down on the Big Lebowski. It was October or November, somewhere around there. And then about 11 months later, 12 months later, we got the invoice to pay it. We bought it through CoinTaker in Pennsylvania. So we got the invoice to pay it, and then they said that after you pay it, then delivery happens within 30 to 90 days. So we paid that, and I didn't know how the whole system worked, but apparently what it is that we put the deposit down, they let Dutch Pinball know that they have an order for however many they have an order for, that they've got deposits for them. I don't know if that deposit goes to Dutch Pinball or if, I don't know. But so then they place the order with Dutch Pinball. When we get the final invoice, that apparently is that Dutch Pinball says, okay, the pinball machine, we've made it, it's ready to ship, pay the invoice, and then they'll ship it over. I think that's how it works. So, we just heard that it's en route to Pennsylvania at the moment. CoinTaker should have it in, they said, just a couple days ago, they said 7 to 10 days. And then it'll take a couple more days to do their fiddly bits. and ship it to us. We're having it shipped to a location in Maine, and then it's about a 5-hour drive from here. So when that lands there in Maine, then we'll bounce over and get it. So if everything goes well, it may be we're about 3 weeks away from having Big Lebowski in here, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it in here. We're not gonna bring it in here. We're gonna take it to our storage facility. We're gonna plop it down there. Then we're gonna figure out where we want to put it in here, because it has a rug that needs to go underneath it. So to make sure it's set up in the right place for that. We're also going to plan a big party, a big unboxing party.
Big Lebowski party.
Yeah. So we'll plan that out. So we should have it in about 3 weeks, and then we will probably unbox it.
Maybe 2 weeks after that.
A couple weeks after that. We want to promote the party and make sure that we've got everything we've got. We're actually going to order some rugs to give away. It comes with a rug, but I kind of want to hold on to that one. I don't want to put it on the ground here and let people trample over it. I kind of want to keep it fresh, just in case in the future if I ever sell the Big Lebowski.
Or we bring it to the house.
Or whatever. It'll
Nice
have
rug.
the original rug that is not stomped all over and filthy. So we're going to get a different rug to put underneath it, but a similar but different rug.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
And then we have to figure out other prizes. So I want to try to get someone. I had mentioned that we're probably pretty close to getting it. And they're like, oh, you need to get Sioux City Sarsaparilla. So I've been looking at a place to get that delivered so that we can pick that up at the same time.
That is the plan.
Let's see.
Just get
so
another
someone
rug.
else said just get another rug for the arcade and put it on there. That's the idea. Yeah, we're gonna get 2 rugs. We're gonna put one under it, and then we're gonna give the other one away as a door prize or something. Maybe top score of the night gets the rug or something. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm trying to get the Sioux City Sarsaparilla in. It's going to be a little expensive, but I think just ordering a couple of cases for it, just for the night or something. And then we'll come up with some other little prizes. Maybe we'll do like a door prize every hour or something for that night. We definitely need a toe. We need to get a toe.
Like paint a little fake toe.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got
Not a real toe.
No.
I mean, you'd be surprised how easy it is to get a toe. But I think we'll give away a fake toe. Giving away a real toe might be problematic. I don't know any nihilists who want to cut their toe off, but maybe. If I can find a couple of island nihilists.
No.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, does that Lebowski guy swallow the ball? No.
Oh, because that scene.
Yeah, there's a
little bowling alley in the bottom
little
of the
bowling
playfield.
alley. There's a car.
That would have been funny if they had that. There's lots of there's folks coming up with oh, my brain is not working. Mods that you can add into the game, so you can replace parts or you can add parts. Like you can add a little toilet in one section of the game, and there's another person I saw recently that made a Big Lebowski topper, and he 3D printed Lebowski sitting on the toilet, and then he cleaned it up, sanded it down a little bit smooth, and then painted it. And so it's a nice big topper sitting in front of the topper for the Big Lebowski. It looks really good. So there's little modifications we might be able to add to the game. We have a 3D printer. I wouldn't be surprised if it was on Thingiverse. Just over there, friend.
Actually, what I would want is I'd want like a bathtub, and then a little ferret's head pops up out of the bathtub and then goes back down.
Oh, that would be pretty funny. You could probably do that even with
That'd be really easy to set up, actually.
with a 3D printer.
Just have a little motor in there that runs, that lifts the little weasel up and then back down again. Yeah, so looking forward to that. That should be pretty soon. That's been a long time coming.
Yeah, and as far as we know, we've only found one location in Canada that currently, there's 2 locations. There's one location in Calgary that had a Big Lebowski, and we don't think they have it anymore because it rotates through its personal collections and they own a kind of arcade place, and they rotate through their own collections, and someone had a Big Lebowski and brought it in, but we're pretty sure it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
And there's another place in Quebec that has one, but it is, I'm really not sure if it's either a barcade, so it's not open to the public. It's only open to people that's 18 and over, or whatever the age is. They also own a warehouse where they have machines and you can rent out the space.
It's like more like a collective or something.
Yeah, and I mean they do on location stuff, but the Big Lebowski is located in a not publicly accessible. Like, you have to rent the space. It's not an arcade that you can just walk into like us. So as far as we know, well, there are 2 other known Big Lebowskis. We're the only publicly accessible to everyone open regular arcade that will have a Big Lebowski in Canada. So come on down.
I'm trying to think of where, either putting it where Speakeasy is,
Mm-hmm.
or where
Hot Wheels.
Roller Games is.
Oh,
Because where Roller Games is, that just has a cement floor there, so the carpet would be fine there.
does it have a
Shaker?
shaker?
I don't think so.
If it has a shaker motor, then we can't put it on the cement floor.
I don't think it does.
Anyone in the comments, do you know? Does Big Lebowski
Let's
have a
look
shaker
that up.
motor? Come on, Google. Google to the rescue. Well, there was the big the.
Actually, I think it'll say it on Pinball Database.
Pinball.
First model, second model. Flippers, pop bumpers, slingshots, kick out, spinning target, captive ball, scoop, ramp converter,
Elevated
outlander.
mini place, yeah.
It does not have a shaky. A shaky
Okay.
shake.
That would be okay there. I kind of like being able to see people play it, so having it where Speakeasy is wouldn't be terrible.
Yeah, my
Or
only
we-
problem is if we have it there, because it's going to be a popular machine when we first bring it in. So that's kind of like in front of the door over there.
Well, what if you move Hot Wheels to where Roller Games is and then put Big Lebowski there so we can
Yeah.
see it? I think that would be better because we're less likely to have people. I don't think people beat up on it, but it's good to see.
Or we put it where Valhalla is, because I'm going to want to go and play it a lot. So,
Yeah, you can put Valhalla where
yeah.
roller games move. I mean, we've got space for one more at the back, so we bring
Yeah,
that
we'll have to
in.
play around with it and see.
Hollywood Heat. Yeah. Well, if we move a game against the back wall, then Seven's actually working on a Hollywood Heat next, and we've got room for one more game in here, but we've got obviously a lot more games at home. We brought in Monaco recently, but we're planning on having a booth at the farmers market and having 1 or 2 machines there in the spring and summer, as well as once we've got the freeze-dried candy all up and running, doing that. We don't think there's anyone there that's doing it. So we've got.
At the Saturday market, there isn't
No.
anybody there.
So we're trying to figure out which machines to bring, and so if we pull one out of here and bring in a Hollywood, like we only have space for one more machine, but we have, more we could swap out. So what game do we either take from here and bring Hollywood Heat in, which is a game I really like, or and take to the farmer's market.
Well, the ones at the market will be on coin drop, so they have to
Yeah.
be the right kind of game for a coin drop game.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sino says, I'm curious to see if Lebowski is stable enough to go on location. I don't know. The only one that I ever played was a factory sample. It
Prototype.
Was before it was released.
And that would have been a Model 1, too.
Well, yeah, Model Alpha. It was glitchy. It seemed like, if I remember, every time we got to the bowling alley, the system would crash. And there was something else that was making it crash. But the rest of it seemed to be working okay. It was fine.
Even
Mostly
with the
callouts and
glitch.
stuff.
Yeah, none of us were really fussed by it, even with the glitch. And
Because we knew it was just a demo anyway.
yeah.
But
I mean,
I have the translate from that too.
we have, we'll have to get that up in here.
I've been wanting to hang the translate in here, but I didn't want to put it in and have people see it in the background and think that we already got it.
I mean, we have Legends of Valhalla and Hot Wheels, which are new machines, and both of them have been really I mean, Valhalla had a few glitches, but it wasn't necessarily anything that had to do with being played all the time. It was just the sensor went out and it had to be replaced, and not like the Star Trek that we briefly owned and then it imploded. And there's someone else has made an entire YouTube series of fixing it.
It took them months. That Star Trek Next Generation was, it had a couple of little issues when we brought it in, but after a couple of weeks, I had the glass off of it 3 or 4 times a day. It was just having problems. So I sold it to a guy as a project. He knew that it was going to need some work, and so he had his guy look at it, and it took them months. They ended up replacing
Everything.
Everything but the main MPU. They put in new power supply. They put in some opto boards. They put in something else. There was a ton of things wrong, like a whole lot more things wrong with it than I anticipated. But he actually came in here after he got it running. He lives in like Montreal, and he was here on vacation, and he came in and he was just like, it took him a while to get it going. He spent a couple extra bucks to do it, but he was completely happy about it. And the thing about that machine is it was gorgeous. Like it was.
Everything had been redone on it.
Aesthetically, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Like the playfield was brand new looking. Someone had redone the cabinet, the side art. Everything was redone. So he just had the fiddly mechanical bits to get going. So,
we do have an awesome technician. He is very good at keeping everything
you have a
running.
pretty awesome technician to keep things ready, but it would seem like some of the newer companies isn't as stable. Seen both Alien Queen and Elton John fail fairly quickly. Queen and Elton John, those are both Sterns, aren't they? I know Elton John's a Stern, yeah, but
I mean, I would like to think with Dutch Pinball, because it's such a small shop and they do everything in-house, that it's a little more stable, and we've heard that they have really good customer service.
And it's their only machine.
Yeah.
They've been building this machine now since 2016 or something like 2017.
2017, yeah.
And so it's the only thing that they've been making. And this is their version 2 of it. So I would think that it's okay.
Yeah. Hey, Spike's
Hi.
Trailer Park. Oh no,
Hiya,
I'm late.
Spike.
That's okay. We're just chatting about how our Big Lebowski should be here in the next month or so. Like it'll be nearby, but it will be in here in maybe a month and a half.
Yeah, about 3 to 5 weeks we should have it. So it's on its way to Pennsylvania right now, and then a little while to get up to Maine, and then we have to go pick it up from Maine, and then it'll be here. And I'm excited. Elton John is Jersey Jack. Alien and Queen is Pinball Brothers.
Oh. Huh.
I'm sort of out of touch with the Jersey Jack stuff. There aren't any of them around here that I know of.
No. The only one I really think I would like to get was the Wizard of Oz, and I think it's just it reminds me of Hot Wheels. There's a lot of different things you could shoot for. It was a really good game, really colorful, and I think a lot of people could walk up to it and
Wizard of Oz would do amazing in here.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the ones that you can knock a ball around on and make things happen, not knowing what you're doing, and just make things happen. And we have a lot of people that come in that they're not super proficient at pinball. They just like knocking the ball around and making things happen. So it would do really, really well in here. I like it too. I think it's a fun game.
Yeah.
And I like that it scores really, really, really low. Like a really good game, it's like I had 2,000 points or something like that. I forget it. It's been a while since I played one, but I like how it's not like in the billions. Your points are billions.
Yeah. There was one more that Jersey Jack did that I liked, and I can't remember what it is. Yeah, I'd love to get a Wizard of Oz, and then the next new game, we want to play it first, but we are both, it is a very full play field, but I don't think it's not, I don't know, it's not too confusing. Like, that's the thing with Hot Wheels, you could get into it, there's lots of things you can shoot for and people still have fun, and I think that's similar to Wizard of Oz. It's almost as heavy as a Pin 2000 machine. I bet. But Galactic Tank Force is the other one we've been talking about. Maybe want to play it, see if it just looks like. Love the theme. We both really enjoy that American Pinball does these original themes, and it's so fun.
The artwork is great.
Well, that's the thing, right?
It's got a good style to it. I like the aesthetics of it and everything. But
yeah.
Yeah, I want to see. I haven't watched any real gameplay on it yet, just because we're not considering buying one for a while. So we got to get Lebowski in here, and that was kind of an expensive purchase in Canada. I mean, it's an expensive machine to begin with, but then you have to convert it to Canadian, and it was even more expensive.
What is that?
So our next machine will probably be after our summer rush. We'll get a new machine in for the winter.
Ooh. Sorry, Spike. I was trying to see what your temperature was in Canadian. I don't understand Fahrenheit. It is -7. That's about, I mean, hey, we're -7, -13 this week with wind chill. It's down to -20. So
let's get to -11 tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, I don't think you need to start complaining just yet. What would you prefer? A foot of snow like they're getting on the West Coast, or 19 degrees Fahrenheit? -14 on Tuesday, friend.
Tuesday night.
Which is, let's see what that is in,
that's
minus, put in minus there.
-14. Oh, whoa.
Oh, I guess,
Why for no will you let me do that?
there you go,
6.8.
6.8. I thought 0.
That's Celsius. Or 0
No.
is
I thought
freezing.
0 in Fahrenheit and 0 in Celsius were the same point.
No, I think it's a boiling point. That's the same.
I
I don't know.
I feel like Celsius is just, I mean, obviously I grew up with Celsius. I feel like it's easier to understand. I don't know how Seven's brain has been able to convert. I usually ask him to translate the temperature when something says, no.
No, it isn't that.
Our snow usually melts in an hour, but it's been a week already. Oh, I'm so sorry.
When we lived on the West Coast, that's kind of what it was. JRSC, hiya.
Hello.
On the West Coast, I never had a snow shovel because it would snow. It's like, oh no, 6 inches of snow. I'll give it an hour and it'll be gone. You never had to move snow. It just always kind of went away.
He wanted to move here because he liked snow.
I love the snow. We'll be right back.
And then the 7. The start button on this one is on the right-hand side. Yeah, down by your right knee down there, and you can push the 2-player button, and it'll go back and forth. And it's like you're a motorcycle trying to get from New York to LA without getting run over. Yeah. Someone's playing Motorcade, I think it is. Williams Motorcade. So if you hold down the green button, you'll go faster, and if you want to stop, you can press the red button. That'll brake. Watch out for the cars. And this one's kind of fun because you keep driving until you run out of gas. And you can pick gas up along the way, so it's not like a lives thing. I think Yankee everything is just weird, but that's me. Then again, I am with a Yankee. Hello. You got some drinks?
Yeah.
Anything else for you?
Yeah, chips or anything?
We don't. Not at the moment. I know we need to get some more savory things in here. All right, if that's everything, that's
Yeah.
$6.32.
And
Perfect.
yeah, you got that.
Okay, you can tap or insert in the top.
Okay.
And we've got cup holders on the legs of almost all the machines, so you can take the drink around with you, or you can put it on top of the tables, even the cocktail tables, just not on top of the machines.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, enjoy.
Thanks.
Yeah, miles, don't understand miles. Kilometers, I mean, obviously, grew up with kilometers, grew up with Celsius. It just makes sense to me. Like, having freezing be 0 Celsius makes sense. Having it not be 0 doesn't make sense to me, but cheese fries, please. You know, Spike, when they started selling the building, we were kind of talking to them about potentially buying it or leasing the whole building from them. And one of the things that there isn't very much of out here is poutine. And so we were thinking of doing a build your own poutine thing. So we just serve, really simple food like burgers, maybe some pizza, but mainly poutine, and then ice cream, and make that like a little sit down area, put cocktail tables over in the tiny dining room over there. What is that? I'm not sure if you all heard that high-pitched sound, but that was Genesis. Okay then. Whoa. Sorry about that, friends. I didn't mean to disappear there, but there was like this incredibly high-pitched sound. Poutine sound exotical. It is delicious. I've had best poutine I had, obviously, Quebec. Sorry, so Genesis we were talking about attract modes earlier with David from Gravitate Pinball. If you haven't been there and you live in Vermont, go see Gravitate Pinball. But Genesis was making the most high-pitched, I think the sound card might be going, attract sound.
On what?
Genesis. It was just like, it sounded like a car horn.
Oh, it does that sometimes.
No. This is different than that sound.
Oh.
It was like a different sound that was not, it does that high-pitched sound, but this was like a car horn high-pitched squealing sound. Anyways, I went over there, turned it off and on again. Not an attract mode that I am.
I was wondering why I felt a little heavy. I had these in my back pocket. I was doing lightings and stuff.
Oh yeah, we've got our new lighting outside. We were saying before that the other side, waving over at our, we'll call them our coworkers on the other side.
Let's go have a look.
Oh, Seven's gonna go on safari.
Camera adventure time. Camera adventure, camera safari. I forget what I called it. Let me get it going here.
Oh, you've got it on your phone.
Yeah.
That's right. Seven's got a fancy new phone. Yeah, so we thought that would be super fun, but the landlord that previously owned the pizza side wasn't going for it, and then they ended up selling the pizza side. And then Safari Action Cam, yeah, that's what it was.
There
you
it is.
go.
All right, here we go. Now,
Oh, now you've got to turn on your...
we have a new feature. Hold on, I'm gonna put this on. Can I do widescreen? No, that's right. That's fine. We have a new feature here.
Make sure you don't get your finger in the way, Seven.
Can I turn it this way? Maybe I'll turn it this way. There we go. All right, you ready? Here's our new feature. Camera Safari Adventure Time.
All right, Seven's gonna... You should do a walk around the arcade.
Huh?
Walk around the arcade first and then go outside.
I'll do that when I come back in.
Okay. The people in here think
Here we
we're
go.
crazy because we're
All right, so
talking to ourselves again.
they put up
Seven do his descriptions.
next door. They put up these lights, and we're like, "Oh, those look really nice." You know, it's like very festive, the little thing. So, not to be outdone, we put up these lights, and they look like they aren't running. They're supposed to be all flickery Vegas. Oh yeah, it looks like they've stopped. Maybe they're too cold. I don't know. And they go all the way around, but I think if I go all the way around, you won't be able to see. I think my camera. I think Safari Adventure camera time will not. This is the new one.
I'm not sure if Seven is
Monaco.
giving you
It's having a problem
Sounds
starting
like it.
4-player, but look at how nice this is. It's like brand new.
It's beautiful, Monaco. Hello. All right, I'm gonna step out for a second.
To change this back to our other thing.
Nice quick bite.
Yes. Yeah, so our new fancy lights are supposed to, they have a bunch of different settings, and one of them is they're all blue, and then it sends a light bulb across, like a flash across the various RGB colors and stuff. But there's a controller. There's two sets, and there's a plug that plugs in and plugs in the lights. And that's where the little controller is. And I had them set up here and tested, and they were running just fine. But when I've gone out there and set them all up, I actually used a different controller. So maybe there's something wrong with that controller, but I just need to swap it out. But it was kind of being a little glitchy when I first set it up. We'll see. I don't know. Windows alert. Yes, that's true. Let's see. I don't know where we were. Let's see. Action Cam. Sinus says, looking at Middle Earth from Atari, backbox is really manageable. There's just one 7-1 bulb, everything else is in the cabinet. That's some of those Bally's were like that. I think Hard Body and Strange Science, they just have a light bulb in the back box. Oh, and Genesis and Hollywood Heat are like that too. I think they just have a single bulb in the back. Let's see. JRSC says, too cold. It's only 2 out there. Yes, and Windows Alert. I do use Windows. Although my 4 screens up there are powered by a Mac Mini running Windows. And Sophia is using this laptop, also running Windows. When I when back in my youth, I had my recording studio and a bunch of synthesizers and stuff, and I wanted to introduce a computer. And at the time, everybody was running Macs because they had special interfaces and stuff that you could hook up all your synthesizers and other crap to it. This is before people were doing hard drive recording, so it was just basically MIDI control stuff. And so I wanted a Mac for a long time, but I just could never afford one. So my first computer in the studio was an Atari ST because I had MIDI in and out on it already built in. So I was like, that's great. And then when it came time to move away from the Atari ST, they had great software for it. I did a lot of music with the Atari ST, a lot of sequencing with it. But then when it came time to upgrade, Macs were still, I was like, these are way too expensive. So I ended up putting together a PC and doing that. And so all my software has always been Windows software. And then I worked in environments like corporate environments and where everybody was running Windows and running Windows domain controllers for user control. So I just kind of always stuck with that. Scoring display on the left side of the apron, strange machine. That's the Atari Middle Earth. Let me look that up.
That is a weird looking monster on the playfield.
Yeah, that's a big machine. Yeah, and all the displays are down there in the apron. The scoring is there.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't have any Atari pinball machines. I'm a little nervous on getting one because I've heard that the boards can be really super flaky.
There's no replacement for them?
I don't know. I don't think that there's any. They didn't make enough of them for anybody who wanted to make an aftermarket. But I suppose you could probably you could rebuild something using.
You could use Dawn.
Well, you could use Fast Pinball and you could rewire it. You could just make a new. Make a new, have new boards and everything in it, just run it off a Raspberry Pi or something. That would work. You'd have to put all the rules and stuff in. Let's see. Okay. I was rewatching the initial move and refurb from the booths, etc. Didn't you have a seating area to eat and drink? Yes, we did, but we filled it up with machines. We had like 4 tables, then we had 3 tables, then we had 2 tables.
And then we had 1 table. We were literally down to just the disco booth.
1 table and a disco booth, and they slowly.
And then we added a cocktail table, and we had the disco booth. And then we added 2 cocktail tables, and then we had 3 cocktail tables, and then we also added the console table. So technically we have 4 tables now, but none of them are really sit and hang out.
Yeah, we had the let me change here the scene here. So where we are over here, way over here, we had machines all up against this row.
Yeah.
And then we had our counter was
Where the camera is right now.
over that way. And we actually had next to Valhalla, there was where those cocktail tables are. There were two more pinball machines there.
Oh yeah.
But we actually ended up, when we got rid of the tables and we brought in the cocktail tables, I thought it was more important to have the cocktail video machines than a couple more pinball machines, because we do so many parties for like kids, and some kids get bored and destructive if there's nothing for them to do. And so if you provide them with a couple of video games, they will entertain themselves if they're not interested in pinball. So that was nice to have the handful of cocktail tables.
And we've had kids come in and they sit down and they literally just play whatever console is there for 2 hours, whether it's Duck Hunt or Smash Brothers or what have you, and they just come in and they play that. And that's fine if that's what they want to do. I mean, you can't play them anywhere else. You can play on your Switch and stuff, but how often are you going to find a Smash Brothers Melee on GameCube?
Sidell says, I'm considering getting it, being Middle Earth, but I have the same thoughts. Parts are not easily available. I can do most of the PCB repairs myself. The time is that's the biggest problem I have here, is the time to do stuff. And I think it's probably going to be one of those things too, like if you just wanted it for your house and it could be down for a week or two, it's no big deal, right? And you fix the board and then something else fails on it a couple months later, and then something else fails on it. You kind of have to sit and fight with it a little bit. I don't want something like that in here. At home it'd be fine, because if it was down for a little while, it's not a big deal. But here, if it's down, it's like I have Electra over there that when you start a game, it tilts. It boots up fine. Everything seems to be working fine on it. It jabs away, sits and talks during the track mode. Everything's fine.
Excuse me.
You start a game, it goes through its cycle, and then it tilts. So I think it's something on the Switch Matrix that I have to get in there and look at. But it's just finding the time to actually sit and be able to focus on that has been kind of a problem. But
You should get an Atari Tone table.
Sorry.
Hi.
What's playing on the TV?
Oh, what is that game?
Which
Tilt.
one?
The movie with the
But
Brooke
is it a
Shields.
movie? Is it a commercial? What
It's a movie. Yeah, that's Brooke
Excuse me.
Shields.
It looks like Jared Padalecki behind her though, but he's too young. Too young to be
That's Brooke Shields. Yeah.
This one's called Tilt, isn't it?
Tilt. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called Tilt.
Yeah.
Tilt.
It's a really silly game
And
or movie.
she was like this whiz kid, pinball protege, and they called her Tilt because she never tilts. And what do you guess happens during the most important game, right?
She kills. Yeah, it can't be Jared Padalecki then, because he's way too young. I wonder who it is though.
And the villain is I forget his name. He shows up later in this. I just clipped all the shots of them playing pinball. in this.
Okay.
Like all the pinball movies we could think of, just little, or movies
Pinball
with
and
pinballs.
arcades.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, there's a little Tron in there. There's the
Gotta have
Sesame.
Pinball Wizard.
Yeah, Sesame Street, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And we've got it separated out, so it's not all at once.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
People have to see what they.
You're welcome. To fix Electra, just cut the disc
This
capacitors.
cuts off the tilt switch. It's still present. I can look at it. I don't know if they're still there.
Yo,
Matthew, yo.
Going back to Sino's thing about the Pong table, we would love to get a Pong table. We have seen them, and if one came up in our area, that would be amazing. I don't know where we'd put it. Like we've got more things. Like we've got video arcades. We've got some cool video carts like Space Invaders Deluxe. We've got Atari Drag Race. We have Rampage World Tour. But then we also have this really cool claw machine that we'd love to bring in. We've got an air hockey table. We have something else too that we bought. Like we've got all these things, we just don't have the space for it. So we'd love. Oh, nope. Sorry, thought I heard cycling. Anyways.
We have to order our pizza at some point. Like now.
Okay, do you
Because
want
they close at 9. We're gonna have pizza not from next door.
try it.
Lorenzo Lamas.
What?
Lorenzo Lamas? Is that who you're trying to think of that's in it?
No,
Lorenzo?
no. It's that. Let me look at it here real quick.
Looking at the cast here. I don't recognize many other names. Yeah, he's the only other name I recognize.
Charles Durney.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Click
Sorry.
on his picture.
What would I know him from?
Oh God, he's been in everything.
Okay.
Oh,
He was the dance instructor from.
Yeah, he's been around forever.
Not the dance instructor. He owned the hotel in
Dirty Dancing? Yes.
Yeah.
And many other things. Like he
Everything.
just shows up in all these movies from the like 70s, 80s, and
Yeah,
then-
one of those character actors.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He's in everything. Matthew
Flipper
Martin.
cheese.
Oh my gosh. Who is Dr. Reset? Or is it 7?
Yeah, it's flipper cheese. That's the most underrated cheese is flipper cheese.
What topping do you like on the pizza? 7's a Metasaurus Rex.
What?
I said you're a Metasaurus
Yeah.
Rex.
I'm a pizza kind of guy. Yeah.
I like vegetables. I like meat, but I like vegetables.
You wanted the veggie one, right?
Yes.
All right, I will go in order. Keep the troops entertained, and I will
I will do
take the phone.
my best. What toppings do you like? Dr. Reset is Matt. Oh, tell me more about being Dr. Reset, Matthew Martin. I'm reading through your comments about pizza, anchovies. Okay, anchovies and pineapple. You know what? I know everyone has a weird thing about how anchovies are so gross. When I was visiting, my sister and I went to South Korea to visit a friend of mine who I met when I was like 13. She was a homestay student for my next door neighbor, or something like that. And we became friends, and then she came to visit again a few years later, and then she came to visit me in China when I lived there. And then when my sister came to visit me in China, we both went over and visited South Korea. This is a really long story. Anyways, they have all different types of anchovies out there, and I could not get enough of them. They're like every meal, there were tiny little anchovies, and our friends' parents went out of the way to go and find us every type of anchovy, the way that they made them. They're all preserved different ways, and they were delicious, and I love them. And so a nice Korean anchovy on pizza, totally down for it. Also, pineapple on pizza, absolutely yay. Do not order the fish. In South Korea, I think you could. I bet that would be a really popular pizza in South Korea. Anchovy pizza in South Korea. You could probably open a whole chain of restaurants. It depends on what else is on it. I like ham, pineapple pizza with ham and extra bacon and a little bit of extra cheese. If I had to choose a favorite pizza, it would be Greek with extra feta cheese. Although there was a pizza place that my friends and I liked to go to in high school that had just a garlic pizza. It was sauce, garlic, cheese, feta cheese, and it was the best. Pickled anchovy would be, name of a cover band for Cher. That would actually be pretty hilarious. Pickled anchovy would probably be an excellent band name. I call it. I don't think I've ever actually had anchovies on pizza. I remember hearing terrible things about it, and then I didn't even realize I was eating them when I went to Korea. They were just so delicious. So I'd be up for that. When I lived in China, there was some crazy stuff they put on pizzas. Same with sandwiches. There was this notion that you just put things on a flatbread and that was a pizza, and you just put things on 2 pieces of bread and that was a sandwich. I was once offered something like a peanut butter, bologna, mayonnaise, pickle, and cheese sandwich from someone that didn't understand. I mean, to each their own. Maybe that person really liked that type of sandwich when I lived in China. That was not a sandwich that I liked. Sorry, we're just talking about anchovies and sandwiches. We were talking about pizzas, and they mentioned anchovies, and I said the best anchovies I had were in South Korea, and that we could probably open a anchovy pizza place in South Korea, and it would go over really well.
I actually, I can't really think of a time that I've had anchovies now that I think about it.
I had never had anchovies. I just heard they were gross until I went to South Korea. Didn't realize I was eating them, and they had all these different types of preserved and cooked anchovies, and they were delicious.
I think maybe I need to order an anchovy pizza, cheese pizza with anchovies and something else.
But I think it's probably the way they're preserved here that it's just not as good. What about cats? Do we have cats? Yes, a lot of them. Goriza monsters in I think that's only Japan. Although they have some pretty interesting, like, mythical TV shows and movies where there's like all these gods and things that are like half monkeys and
Like people.
yeah, just all sorts of watching Chinese soap operas and stuff were pretty interesting. And late at night, they would play a whole bunch of like OG Jackie Chan movies with the worst subtitles ever on TV. It was awesome. It was like my favorite time in the evening. Oh, cats on pizza. No. Maybe dogs though. Hate to say that, but could be true.
Okay, sign out. Nice talking to you. Interested to see if you decide on the Middle Earth or not.
Yes, tell us how it goes.
So now our pizza will be ready. Our pizzas will be ready 20 minutes.
Oh.
So now, who wants to go get them?
Do you want to go?
I can go.
I don't really want to go.
I'll go.
Aw, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's only up the street, so right? It's the one up the street? Okay. It's just up the street.
I will be the hunter-gatherer this evening.
Well, 20 minutes. I mean, we could end early or we could keep streaming. Let's see how we're feeling in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us, Sino.
You can't trust people who have cats as pets, not meals. We have a newer cat.
I think he's still considered a kitten. He's
yeah,
6 months old.
Yeah, he's a rag doll. And you know how, remember Grumpy Cat? He kind of looks like Grumpy Cat, but not so grumpy, just more slightly concerned.
Concerned cat with extra flu.
The top of his eyes are flat all the time. They're not round, so you're always kind of like, has this sort of concerned look. And he just got fixed the other day, so he's walking around going, my rear, my rear.
Trying to find a...
There's the Gumbo. That's Gumbo.
With the cone of shame. Yes, Gumbo.
Pulp Fiction, yay or nay? I haven't played it. I haven't. I've seen a little bit of it, but I haven't actually played it. I haven't watched gameplay on it or how. I just haven't followed it. I haven't followed any of the new machines.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about the movie. It makes sense. Why are we talking about Pulp Fiction? I mean, we were talking about pizza and sandwiches, but now that makes sense.
Am I getting pizzas for everyone in the arcade? Not today, I'm not.
But we have before.
We have before.
I
From next door.
Yeah.
When we get them for free.
Yeah. I had a friend that said everybody that she watched Pulp Fiction with died, so she stopped watching it after 2.
He's been Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah, maybe we should start an Instagram, Concerned Cat, with
Concerned
Gumbo.
Cat.
They're pretty cute.
Yeah, he definitely has that funny look about him.
Especially the angle, like he could be concerned, and then sometimes, depending how you take the picture, he's very grumpy. But he's like a floofy, slightly less grumpy cat.
It's probably cold enough when we get the pizzas. I think I'll just leave them in the car. I think they'll be fine. It's 2 out there right now.
Yeah. I left the veggies out there.
Yeah.
Went grocery shopping, didn't have to store any of the groceries in the fridge, just leave them in the car. Yeah, it's 2 degrees.
I want to try my blue chubby. I'm out of coffee, so
Will
it's
you
time.
pour a little bit in a cup for me? I found, a little while ago, I found chubbies, and we brought in grape, pineapple, and banana. Side note, Grace Island Soda brand has excellent banana flavored soda. Haven't been able to find it in a while. But today, when I was getting some more chubbies, they had Blue Blast? What is it called?
Blueberry Blast.
Blueberry Blast.
Chubby.
Usually it's like blue raspberry. Kids love everything blue. It's the weirdest thing.
I love everything blue.
Yeah.
Smells blue.
You try the grape soda too.
There you go.
It smells like the banana one.
It's like the banana one.
It tastes just like the banana, a lighter flavored banana. How
And it's
many
a little-
chubbies a day do you get? Today I got about 100.
This is my first chubby today. So
This is the strangest
blue.
thing.
I have a blue chubby.
I thought this was going to be like blue raspberry. I don't think I need to
There's
have
like
any more.
a base flavor to it that's the same as the banana.
Okay, now I'm really interested to see what the grape flavor is.
Let's try it.
All right. Do you want to? I guess I'll leave that here and maybe bring it out with another cup. Weird. But yeah, I used to love the chubby soda. Another one we would love to get in. Oh, we should see if they have any in Maine. We used to go down to Tacoma? Well, we were down picking up machines down in Washington and Oregon. There was a place we stopped and we get New York seltzer in the little bottle, 7. When we go down to Maine, we should try and find New York seltzer in the little bottles. Yeah, we used to buy those and bring them up, and they were so good. Hey, extra ball.
So this
So
is
good.
Purple
Grape.
Power Chubby.
Does it say grape on it? In
Purple
French
Power.
it says
In French
grape.
it says.
It doesn't say it in English though. All right.
Let's see if this has the same sort of base flavor to it.
Citric acid, artificial flavor. Doesn't say what the flavor is.
That tastes like grape soda.
Wow, that one's surprisingly good.
It has that sort of,
Is there aspartame in this? Sucralose. This
Yeah.
one's got sucralose. Ascorbic acid. I think that's what.
sucralose maybe. Yeah.
Clue number 1. I think the sucralose is what I'm tasting.
Yeah.
Knock knock.
Man
So-
chicken.
Hi, Man Jenkin. So, Speakeasy, which is just over here, is our loudest. has the loudest knocker in the arcade, and it also has a high ratio of getting extra balls because it's got the roulette wheel in it, and
Pizza time. All right. Let's keep them entertained. I will leave my mic. I gotta go get pizzas.
what is it?
By the time I get there.
Oh,
I
okay.
ordered at like 10 after.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that. Okay,
It'll take me 5 or 6 minutes to get down there or so.
okay, I'll be here.
All right.
Entertaining. Some.
I'll leave my chubbies with you.
Alrighty. I'm gonna sit here. Oh, good. He didn't raise it back up. Really. Hey, free game! But they're all free. I say that joke all the time. It's slightly annoying to myself and others, but it's like a habit now where you can't not say it. One moment. So, oh, you got it figured out. Oh, this is our only game with a ball lifter in it. So you have to do that every time to get the ball in the trough. 1964. Yeah, our collection, we have them back to the 30s, but this is the oldest one we have in here. Yeah. Triple knock. For free game, they got the match. So the speakeasy is the loudest, and there's some people that just get so startled. There was a party in here a few weeks ago. I think they were called Island Hill Farms, and excuse me, they brought their staff in for a party, and one of the staff members, it happened, she was like so startled when it knocked, and even when it did the one knock for when you got an extra ball or the two knocks. And so then every time the game ended, she jumped away from the game, like 10 feet away, and then hoped that it wouldn't knock, and then she'd come back to the game after it was potentially done. It was just so jarring for her. But we have other ones, but that we've left all of the knockers in most of the games, and we explain it to people what it, you know, the knocker for an extra ball, but also the knockers for the match, and just leaving them on is kind of fun, so people still get that, you know, the sounds of the old arcades. Oh. The guy with the hat is currently playing Speakeasy, so I don't know if you got to see his startled face. I'm gonna try these again. This is the blue chubby. It's like they took the banana flavor and then just poured in like a blue number 1. And the grape tastes like grape. The knocker on my Attack from Mars is so loud. I disconnected it. It sounds like a gunshot. It's such a sharp sound. I need to get a little chunk of rubber to shove in there. That was from Man Chicken. So when we first got Royal Rumble, we had the idea of getting a bell, like a courtside bell for wrestling, and we were going to put it in or on top of the machine so that when you got an extra ball or when you got the match, it would ring that. And we dinged it a couple of times, but it didn't, it was really loud, and we never ended up doing it. I think it would just be too jarring, but we had that idea to do that. I think that would be so mean and also so entertaining at the same time. The louder the better, is Matthew Morton. It's fun. Way better than Stern Simulator knocker noise. Oh, they don't have actual knockers in the new Sterns? I didn't realize that. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Hot Wheels and Legends of Valhalla with American Pinball have knockers in them. I did not even know simulated knockers were a thing. Matthew Martin, in normal circumstances, if your chubby was blue, I would recommend seeing a doctor. Oh, this is gonna go all night. I like the siren on Gold Wings. I think we've Was it? There's a game. Maybe it was. I'm having like a vague recollection. Maybe it was from one of the shows that we've been to, playing a game that had one of those sirens in it. That was really loud. Trying to think if any other ones have any really, really loud knockers. I think Hurricane's pretty loud too. We've got the Hurricane. Secret Service and Pinbot is really loud. The Pinbot has a weird glitch in it right now. It says that there's, adjust switch. When a switch hasn't been hit for a while, it thinks that there's something wrong with it because you haven't scored points. And there's a couple switches on Pinbot that haven't been hit in a while. So when we turn on the machine, it goes bang, 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 bang. And then bang, 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 bang. And then 3-4 more quick succession bangs. And if I'm not careful, and as I reach over, my head's still beside it, it starts going off right in my ear. And that's probably why I have tinnitus. Matthew says, yeah, the new pro tables at least don't come with knockers physically. That is so weird. You would think the pro tables are the, like, top of the line, right? Those are the ones that are supposed to have all the bells and whistles. Why wouldn't it have, like, the literal bells and whistles? So the noise comes from the CPU through the speaker. If it's part of a game where instead of, like you were saying, Matthew, with the sirens, that would make sense to me. But just in general, I don't know. It just seems like it's such a part of the game to have them. That's so weird. That might explain why I was at, what arcade in Victoria? Quasars. I was at Quasars a year or two ago, and I was playing, I can't remember what game I was playing now, and I got an extra ball, and I couldn't hear it. I did not hear it at all, and I didn't understand. And then someone came up to me, and I felt like a moron, and said, you got an extra game or an extra ball. And I hadn't heard it. I was like, oh, I didn't realize at all, because there was, and it was a new stern. Hadn't heard a knocker sound. So that makes so much more sense now. Now I don't feel like an idiot who owns an arcade and didn't hear the extra credit sound. I agree with you, Spike. Totally sacrilegious. If you're gonna have a pinball machine, you should have an actual knocker, especially if you're paying $20,000. Hold, please. Ooh, some more drinks.
Yeah.
All right. And you know these are non-alcoholic, right?
I do, yeah.
Okay. 1 and 2. Anything else for you? Any drinks or snacks? It goes around the corner too.
I'm gonna get something. I am.
Well, I'm here all night, so no rush.
I'm not. I'm here for another half hour.
All right, classic. Fabulous. All right, all together, that is $9.72, and you can tap or insert in the top. Perfect. All right. There you go. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Sounds like they had the knocker volume turned way down. It could have been. They were having, it was a very odd experience. We had been in there a few years ago because Seven is working on a documentary about the resurgence of pinball arcades, or he was, and that's kind of converted into like how people did over the pandemic and then us opening our arcade. Like it's kind of neat that it's going to follow a couple of years instead of just being 1 or 2 years. So we went and interviewed them, and it was great. We went down there. It was super busy, and then I went back earlier. I think it was last year in April when I was out there for work, and I went in and I was taking pictures so that we could post it on our social media, like, hey, we visited Quasar's Arcade. And then they told me I wasn't allowed to take pictures with anybody else in them. I could take pictures of their empty areas of their arcade or of my friends, but I couldn't take pictures of other people that were in the arcade. And I was like, okay, I'm really sorry. And then he continued the conversation, this person that worked there, with me, and it was just, and he just kept saying, you can't take pictures, and I kept saying, do you want me to delete them? I can delete them, I don't mind. And he was like, it was very strange. Anyways, they were having like a tournament thing there that night, and they had kind of, the tournament people had pretty much taken over all of the pinball machines. There were like 2 or 3 that were available. I mean, I still think it's a great place. It was a lot of fun. It was just a very weird experience going back there that time. But it's groovy. It's interesting seeing that one because it's a coin drop or tokens, compared to our pay to enter model. They might have had the volume turned down low as well, but if it was the Stern that I was playing, I remember, because they just had 2 rows of Stern. Like the only pinball machines they had were the new Stern machines. And then they had old, mainly older arcade cabinets, and then they had Terminator Salvation as well. But all the pinball machines were new. You need, anyways, that's my story of my recent visit to Quasar's Arcade. 2 boxes of those mint chocolate things. There are a lot of mint chocolate things out in the world. You're gonna have to be a little more specific, Matthew. I'm not sure if I should keep drinking this. I'm not gonna drink the blue. I'm gonna drink the purple power. Maybe I'll turn into a purple people eater. Is David still here? David was one of the first ones in the chat. He has Gravitate Pinball in Vermont, and he was having a slow period, and then he ran away and said, ooh, customers, BRB. And I don't know if David came back. I'd be curious to know, David, if you're on Coin Drop or pay to play or cards, or pay to enter rather, token or Coin Drop, Junior Mints. We have Junior Mints, and it's really interesting what is popular, what we go through. When we first brought in Junior Mints, they were flying off the shelves, and but then we'll go through waves. Like this last week, for whatever reason, Charleston Chews are the most popular thing. That one, these Bally machines, for whatever reason, they're like, you know what, we're just gonna camouflage the start button on all of their games, and it's right here. Oh. And I miss it all the time, but all of their older games, they all have them camouflaged right in the front. Damn it, Janet, I love you. That was, I was a theater kid in high school, and that was our favorite movie that we used to reenact all the time. And we even did the time warp at our high school graduation. And I felt bad for everybody else because the DJ got our table's weird set list first, and the time warp was the very first song that got played at our high school graduation dance. You got a bag of M&Ms once, but was disappointed. They were all W's. That happens sometimes. I'm so sorry, Spike. Did you know Tim Curry is still doing tons of voice acting? Like, he can't do physical acting, but he still, voice and everything is intact. So this one is our oldest machine, and oh, sorry, I didn't mean to lean over. So it has a ball lifter before things were
Oh, no
automatic. So you
way.
push that in, scoops the ball up from below, and then you play just like you would. Yeah, so this one's from 1964.
Oh my God.
We have some back to the 30s in our collection, but we just don't have room to bring them in because they're displayed. Can't play them.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's still one
What's
of our
the
most
newest
popular. The newest ones would be Legends of Valhalla and Hot Wheels we got last year. They're both still in production, and in about a month we will have our newest machine, the Big Lebowski, that just got shipped out of the Netherlands. I think that's where, from Dutch Pinball. It is a fantastic machine, and we are going to be the only, if not one of 2 places, I think, in Canada that has one. Yeah, it takes over a year to get them. So, yeah. Smoke right from my Tim Curry. Ball lifter ones. Oh. You know what, I have to say, when we had all of our, speaking of fancy ball lifters, when we had all of our older machines on display, and we had, I think we had 3 that were offline on purpose. So we had our 1930s Gross and something. Seven knows the name of it. It's like the Magnificent Six, and it's like OG one with pins in it, and you just shoot the ball up. It's just right over here. Thank you so much. Right by the door. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, through the door and then around the counter on the left. You're very welcome. Oh no, Matt, are you leaving? Phone call, gotta go. Okay, well, thanks so much for joining us, Matthew. Sorry, I shouldn't assume that you go by Matt. It was nice chatting with you. And, but, so we had those 3 set up, and then we had another one from, I think it was Yuma, Arizona, which was from the early 50s, but it was designed in the 1940s, and they just re-skinned the back glasses for different cities, is my understanding. So there's like a Yuma, Arizona, and then there was another one. But it was really a 1940s machine, but that one came out in 1950. So it had a really good idea of what the game played from 7's back, the 30s, and then we had that one that was designed in the 40s. And then we had a Big Hit in the 1950s. And so you kind of saw the progression of where it was just the plunger with the holes and the pegs to those weird backwards flippers with elastics. Oh. Oh. Our new groovy lights stopped. And then Big Hit had flippers, teeny tiny flippers, but they were 6 miles apart on the pinball machine, to Palooka, and then Palooka was running. The point of the story is they all had different ball lifters. And it was really cool seeing the different types, kind of how, you know, there's different plungers on the pinball machines. And the one that I liked the most was the one, instead of pushing it in, it was actually like a little lever that went up and down. I can't remember which game that was on, but anyways. Fancy ball lifters. Does anyone else have a favorite fancy ball lifter on a pinball machine? But it is funny saying that to people sometimes, you know, this is a ball lifter, etc., etc. Did you get it working? Oh no, our new lights aren't responding. That's too bad. How is that time? I can't believe it's been 2 hours since these folks came in. And it's been an hour and a half since we started streaming. I mean, he is an IT guy. Seven just said he's turning them off and on again. Usually solves the problem. Solves a lot of problems with pinball machines too. The ball is stuck, or something's glitching. If it works after you turn it back on and off again, off and on again, then it's usually okay. But if the same thing happens, we had Pinball today, the flipper was energizing as soon as you started a game. And so I turned it off, and Seven had been putting up the lights outside, and he came in, and the leaf switch where the button was, where the flipper button, has stuck together, so it was stuck on, which was different. And that was the left flipper, and 2 weeks ago on the right flipper, the tip of the leaf switch had actually broken off, and it was getting, the rest of it was getting caught because it was just this sharp edge. And we probably could have soldered on a little piece of metal to make it keep working, but Seven just replaced it. That was the week. Seven was actually, his daughter was visiting, so he was away. I'm going to switch this to scene 2. Did that work? Yeah, there we go. Switch it up a little bit. His daughter was visiting, and so they spent 10 days together. Any luck? Oh, they turned back on. Yay. And so there were some minor issues with the games. They were all still playable, except for Mars Track. But they all had like little glitches. So on Hurricane, there's a spot where the ball always gets stuck on this rubber just underneath of the ramp. And you had to pull all the screws for the ramp out to get the elastic back on, which I wasn't going to do. So I did a DIY with a tiny elastic. So the ball kept getting stuck there, so I had to keep opening up that machine. Brake shot, center post wasn't working, but the game still worked fantastic. Can you make the corner image larger? Sorry. You mean the image of me or the image of people playing? Which one? It's really small watching you guys. You want me to make the image of us larger? Like this? Is that right? Does that work for you? JSC01? I'm going to make that like that until you say yay or nay, if you wanted me to change it back. So the center post and brake shot wasn't working, but the game still played and didn't kick out us. Okay, got it. Well, now you've got it. I made it bigger. Is that big enough for you?
Are you done with the chubbies?
I'm done with the chubbies.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make another coffee actually. So.
Okay. Then I'll just move back into this chair. So the interesting thing, if you haven't played Brake Shot before, is it is a really fun game. When we took it to our first fair, we had it on mini legs, and the kids loved it. And so it's got 3 shots or 3 scoops in the center, and it's pretty interesting because you get the ball in the scoop, center post comes up, the ball gets released, and you have to hit that center post to push the ball back in the scoop, and then the center scoops will reopen so you can do the same thing 2 more times, and then you get 3-ball multi-ball, and they all release when you get all 3. So you would think if the center post was malfunctioning when you got it in one of those scoops, it would shoot out a second ball, and it would put a second ball in the ball trop and release the one that had been put in whichever scoop you got it in the scoop set. But it didn't. It actually just kept playing with 1 ball and said, great game, great shot, and it would just release the ball, wouldn't try putting the post up because it had already recognized at the beginning of the game that the post had malfunctioned, and it never kicked out a second ball. So it was like it completely, the rule set seemed to change with the malfunction. It was pretty cool. But also annoying because I had to, when you started a game, it took 30 seconds of testing the center post. So when I opened, because I took vacation from my regular job so that I could work here and Seven could spend time with his daughter, I would have that going all the time. I would leave a game running so people wouldn't be weirded out when they walk up to it and it didn't work for 30 seconds. So that was another glitch. And they're all little things. For whatever reason, the wires that connect the RPM lights on Hot Wheels come off every couple of months or so. So that went out. I again wasn't going to open that up and do it myself. And Mars Trek had just one of the stepper motors or one of the switches was stuck on. And so 7 came in one day while I was here, and I told him that there were a couple of these quirks going on, and he just like raced through and fixed all these little quirky things in all of the machines and fixed them. And oh yeah, Pinbot was the last one, the broken leaf switch. And so he did it all in an hour, like incredible. It was just like wham, 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 done. And then they played a game of pinball and they left. And like in an hour and a half, he was in and out. He fixed five pinball machines, and then they played a couple games of pinball, and then they left. I was talking about when you were away and then you came in. We had the little quirky things in a couple of machines, and he fixed them all in an hour and a half. And then I very descriptively went through how Break Shot changed its rule set when. Oh, I'm gonna go that way. Anyways, that's enough of me talking. 7's back. I'll be back.
What'd I miss? All right, I have acquired pizza. I'm ready to eat when I'm ready to eat. That's always a good thing. What did I miss? Made the quarter a little bit larger. Can I invert this? I probably could invert that, but I'll be nice. Checking out the merchandise, like the 15-ounce mugs for sale. You have one there so I can see, please. Are you looking on one of the websites? Nothing going on here, just talking about simulated knockers and stuff. I like talking about knockers and stuff. We don't, some of the products that we have for sale on the website are not things that we actually have in here. A lot of them are like print on demand kind of stuff. So we haven't actually brought any in. We want to bring in a bunch of stuff, not the print on demand stuff, but more proper. I want to bring in stuff like this for tourist season, because I think that we sell a lot of shirts when the tourists come in. So I think Silverball swag. Yeah, I don't really have very much stuff from there. I just shirts, I think, is basically all we have. So I don't have any other products. Hello. Hello. Came plowing through the door. Speakeasy's driving me nuts.
Oh yeah. We get people asking us, I've had this a few times, is it ever hard to be in here with the lights and sounds and everything? Does it ever get too much? And I'm like, actually, the most annoying thing is when people leave games, abandoned games, because it's repetitive sound over and over and over and over and over again instead of different sounds. That is what bothered me. That's why when I would start Break Shot and leave it running all day, just so that I wouldn't have to have people complain about it taking 30 seconds to test the posts. That's what was annoying.
Spike says maybe I should start collecting t-shirts from places I've never been to. That's a good idea.
Why not? I mean, people collect spoons from places, or my sister has a shot glass collection from places other people have been to, and then they bring her back shot glasses. It's kind of cute. She's got like 100 of them though. It's a lot.
So I went into the place I got the pizza from is called Sam's Restaurant. It's down the street, and one of the guys who owns it, when we were clearing out this space, we had all the booths in here. And so Sam's down there bought all the booths that were in here. And so when you go into Sam's, you can see some of the, I think they have a couple of them set up there or something. But they have a little restaurant area, and then they have like a little neighborhood bar kind of thing, where everybody that's in there probably lives within walking distance. And it's not a very big place. And then in the back of that little bar, they've got a bunch of like gambling machine kind of things. It's like half gambling machines, half bar. I didn't see anybody playing the gambling machines, but there was about 10 people in the bar. And it was just kind of a weird mix of just kind of like everyday people. But the music was like cranked in there. And it sounded like a mixture between that Gangnam Style song and like Soviet new wave music. It was the weirdest thing.
Well, that's like next door. So the new owners have like a weird TV and speaker, and it's like they put the speaker and the TV on at the same time playing music. And maybe that's why I can never figure out, maybe I just don't listen to new music, but they have like playlists in there of music I've never heard of, and it's so weird sounding, and I just don't get it. I don't get it at all.
JRSC says, I love you have lava lamp shop too. I love lava lamps. So let's look at our lava lamps.
I was just gonna say, you can well, you should start over there, show them our collection, and then show them what lava lamps we have for sale. The reason we got into lava lamps is because everyone was asking us if we sold our collection. Oh, weird. Look at the big one was being super blobby, like little blobs, and now it's turned into a giant blob. Oh, that's super weird.
Camera Safari Adventure Time. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, so here's our...
Got a couple light bulbs out, don't mind them.
That light bulb is out.
The wood beside it.
The rocket ships, those are from the...
You can't get the rocket ships anymore.
Yeah,
People
that's a
ask us
rocket
for
ship
them
too. You
all
can't
the time.
tell because it's black on black. Those are from the 90s. Most of the other ones are kind of later ones. The wizard hat there, that's from the 90s as well. Look at that one. That big giant one is just a single blob today. And then over here, we've got all of these. And then the ones that we've got for sale right now are, we have a couple of the big giant ones, and then the 16-inch ones, which is the size of that one. And then that's the grande one there. And then we have these up here. And then we have these.
And we've got the plasma balls and sea monkeys on Mars.
Sea
monkeys and sea monkeys on Mars. You should
Candy cigarettes.
do a whole thing, the candy and stuff.
Sea monkeys on Mars. And these guys. Can I push the button without making a big mess? There we go.
Ooh.
Little ones that run off USB. Candle-powered ones.
Those are really fun in storms. And little battery
And then we have all
sparkly ones.
a bunch of stickers and enamel pins and
Some groovy earrings.
M&M earrings and stuff. There's some Space Invader. There was a Space Invader earrings in here.
Yeah,
too.
they're right there.
Yeah. Space Invader earrings and stuff. Candy products. More
They're playing
stickers.
Nip It
More
right
buttons.
now, 4-player game. It's amazing.
Sour box of boogers.
Those are really popular.
And I just got in hot tamales, which aren't common to see in the in Canada, and same with raisinets.
And good and plenty.
These are the Canadian raisinets right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got payday bars. Those are from the U.S. And the flake. These are from the U.K. These are from Australia. Yeah, these are from the States. These are from the States.
7.
And that's pretty much, that's That's pretty much the fun part. Oh, these are made here on the island. This is peanut brittle, regular peanut brittle, and ghost pepper peanut brittle. Do you dare? Monkeys. And then we have some shirts.
We need to
I
make
need to
some.
design some new ones. And we also have postcards.
Yeah,
That doesn't sound right.
it's okay. They break all the time.
Oh, it's trying to get the score back to 0. Look at the numbers.
Oh no. Hold on. I think we can. Oh. Oh.
This happens sometimes.
Oh, for whatever reason.
See if we can force it. Nope. I'm gonna
Oh,
have
that is
to
so weird.
manhandle
Oh,
it.
look at that. I don't know how to turn off Seven's camera, so I'm just gonna hold it. Oh, it's upside down. Camera Safari time. There we go. Talk about the plate. Yeah. So we're gonna do Camera Safari, and I'm gonna go over to where 7 is. Doo doo doo. There you go. What's going on, 7?
It was wasn't resetting one of the score reels. Oh, now what have I done? Have I broken it?
You broke it?
I broke it.
Does it just... There we go. Now I can see what's going on. We're on Camera Safari right now, 7, so you can tell us what you're doing.
I don't know what I'm doing. That engaged, that engaged. That score reel is not score reeling. Alright, I need a headlamp.
7 is going to get a headlamp. This game is fun because you can essentially steal other people's work. Like, you've got that ball in there, and so if he knocks that middle post and he puts it back in the scoop, then he can get into the next scoop. I like games like that where you can essentially steal other people's balls and everything as you're trying to get multi-ball. So I think that's player 3 now. Unless it said same player shoot again. Or player 4. There you go.
I said like pop out of place. Everything looks like that.
Sorry we're not saying anything. I'm watching 7. And I hope that this is streaming. It seems like it's right. I unlocked the phone and it was
Okay.
open on the camera, so.
Can you turn this on?
Yes. Let me just check that the thing is streaming.
So
Yes,
this,
we're still
this
on
score reel wasn't score
Safari
reeling,
Adventure.
but everything looks okay.
Okay, I'm turning on.
All right, hit game start.
All right. There we go. Okay.
That looks okay to me.
Alrighty.
Let's add some credits. Oh, I think I just took away
You
credit.
took a credit away.
Add some credits. I think it's at max credit.
All right.
I have
Oh,
it
it's got
disabled right here. Huh?
It's like it's got the smell of a, what do you call it? Of an EM. We were talking about that on one of the last streams. How there's a distinct smell. Oh, that's
EMs
heavy.
have a funk.
Hmm?
They have a little bit of a funk. Not
Yeah.
a bad funk.
That is a heavy back box cover.
Yeah.
Yes, so this is sad Electra that's offline right now. And then Time Zone is also offline right now. But as it turns out, we found a few months ago, maybe it was a few months ago, someone contacted us that, ooh, it's hard to move these on the cement. There we go. A few months ago, someone who had some old EM pinball machines that somebody else had given him. They didn't have the play fields or the glass or anything. He was turning them into virtual pinball machines. The only things they had were the guts inside of the back glass and some of the wiring for under the play field. And one of them was the 4-player version of Time Zone. One of the coils melted itself in Time Zone recently, and so Seven was trying to figure out what the coil was, or the coil, right? Melted it?
Yeah, it's a coil for, I think, the ball and play unit.
But we couldn't figure out what it was because the thing melted so much it burned the paper up.
It was toasty.
And so when Seven went into the shipping container recently, or storage container, to get something, he found the innards of the back box that we'd been given for the 4-player Time Zone, and he was able to pillage what he thinks is the correct coil, and we should be able to get it up and running. We totally forgot we had it. So now we have a bunch of spare parts for Time Zone, and that should get that working. And then maybe we'll take some of, I think it was Signout's tips to try and fix the tilt function on Electra. Also, once we get that fixed, it is for sale if you are interested. We thought it would be more popular at the arcade, but I think it's just a little too confusing with the lower playfield, even though I find it really fun. We had Spectrum in here for a really long time, which is similar to Electra, which is why we thought it would be pretty popular. And Spectrum was so popular. We had, the day after we opened, we had someone come back in and play for hours on, they're still playing, play for hours on Spectrum. But, oh, and we're back. Ooh, it's Inception. Oh no, I don't know how to turn this off. Where's Seven when you need him? Okay, I'm just gonna put this right here. So you're gonna see that until I can get Seven to turn off this function. Okay, whoa. Got so many chats here. Hi friends, we're back. Yeah, so Electra's for sale. Blackwater's another one that is a little too confusing for folks in the arcade. And we have 2 of those, and both of them are for sale, really. So if anyone's interested. So going back up the chat, we're doing the exact same thing we had happen last time. We're getting behind. So you guys were talking about merch. Silver Ball Swag in Canada, and then if you are in the US, you can buy from Bonfire. If you are in Canada, don't buy from Bonfire because then it will be very expensive. I don't know how to turn off the scene. It's still connected.
Oh.
Unless you're going on another safari right now.
Let's go on another safari. Let's go check the lights outside.
Okay.
Camera safari to check the lights. Weep.
I'm gonna get some water while he does that.
It's all snowy.
I haven't seen the lights. Are they on? Yay, they're on! So exciting.
Tourism then continues. And then it finally just froze up. So I'll change the controller tomorrow. It's too dark.
Here he comes, back from safari. You gonna sit down?
My fade out. Weep. There we go.
So going back up. Silver Ball Swag if you are in Canada, Bonfire if you're in the US. If you're in Canada, don't order from Bonfire, it's very expensive. I learned that lesson because I bought myself a sweatshirt. We talked about flakes at the Christmas stream. Yeah, we picked those up. We're pretty excited about it. What is your aggression limit? Tom Smith says, hello Tom, welcome to the chat with
Tom.
players in the arcade.
We actually have been pretty good. There's one guy that comes in every once in a while, and he passionately plays pinball, and he almost every single game he plays he tilts, just because he kind of gives them little nudges on the side. And I think next time he comes in, I'll show him what a tilt bob looks like, just so that he can kind of try to avoid that. But most of the time, people are pretty casual with the games. We do have a handful of like I would call like serious pinball people, and they slap the crap out of the sides of the machines for some reason.
They don't
Like-
hit the flippers like this. It's
No, they like if something kind of gets wedged, or if they want to try to nudge the ball as it's coming down, instead of just giving it a little bit of something, they whack the side of the cabinet.
yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. I've never really seen it. It's something, I think it's a PEI technique that someone picked up and decided to start doing, and now a bunch of them do it, and I don't see how it works.
But
or
there's
anything.
people that they're not, they don't hit the flippers like this. They don't use their fingers like this. They hit the side of the
they
machine
clap.
too, which is a little odd. Most of the time it's only kids that hit the glass every once in a while when the ball gets stuck or they're frustrated. Usually it's when there's a stuck ball. Sometimes a kid will get frustrated and hit the glass. Every once in a while there was someone in with a party a while ago, a guy, and he hit the glass, and I like ran over there and I was like, do not hit the glass, friend. And then his boss was with him. She was like, yeah, those things cost thousands of dollars and we're not paying for that. So,
Spike says, check the interocitor.
or the flux capacitor.
It's
Sorry.
probably the interocitor, I would think. Yeah. And I did put my tongue on it. It seemed
Always.
it tasted fine.
Tom says Electro would be a nice addition to Venom if he promises way. I'd even take it. So Tom, we can ship. We actually, and it's not too expensive either. We shipped the person that bought our Star Trek that was in need of repair. We shipped it to Quebec, and it was only, it might be a couple
It's about
$100 for you.
$400 for shipping.
Yeah,
It's kind of commonly. I had Hurricane ship from Toronto.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great night, you guys.
Oh,
Thanks for
wonderful.
coming in.
That was awesome.
And we're open year round, so come back anytime.
I got Nip It fixed, so it's ready to
Yeah.
go next time.
Yes, that's a great one. So I understand the oldest one is over here. How old is?
1964 is
Yeah.
Palooka. Nip It is mid-70s, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
They're fun to play.
Yeah,
don't
I
know,
like those.
They just are fun to play.
Did you try Dragon down there? The one on the back wall?
Yeah, I think I tried
Yes.
That one.
Yeah.
So that one, that's a Spanish machine, and it plays super fast because it doesn't have a wood playfield. It has an acrylic playfield.
Okay.
Good.
And
they
that's all.
paint to the
Every time you
bottom.
find a dragon, they always look gorgeous because they're painted from the bottom.
Oh, of course.
So
that
they
makes
always
sense.
look fantastic.
Yeah.
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 But that one is. I hate that game. It's brutal. It's got these horrible outlanes. If you try to catch the ball, it just rolls up the outlane,
Yeah.
goes bloop down the side.
But it's got like
Yeah.
the easiest tasks that you're trying to do.
Genie one, it kept going every time down the side.
Oh, yeah. And Genie's funny too because it's so big, and I have it set knotted. It's super.
It's very, yeah.
So it's very floaty.
Yeah,
And
it
Yeah.
is floating.
you can just watch the ball go boink
Yeah.
right down the
It's
middle, and there's
slow.
nothing
And
you
you're
can do
just
about
like-
it.
That's cool. I want to take in the dragon just to appreciate its beauty.
Yeah.
The alien one.
Oh, Starship Troopers.
Starship
I mean,
Troopers, yeah.
Dragon is a really fun game to play with other people because you lose really fast. So if you want to play one more game, I would say play a game together on Dragon.
Did you hear that, guys?
Yeah, you have to play a dragon. So the idea on dragon is if you
Seven
clear
loves getting
numbers
people
1
over
through
to.
5, either at the bottom or the top, it'll light the side ones.
Hey, I mean, it's
or,
only a hop,
extra
skip, and
ball.
a jump over. So
And the
to
special will
yeah,
bounce
I'm
back
jumping
and
down to
forth between
Tom's
the
last
side
comment.
targets.
But
If you
no,
knock down
Dragon
the 5
is
dragon targets.
really fun. People
It
really
lights
take to it. We
the center
tell them
for
about Dragon
extra
and
Nice.
just
Yeah.
how fast it
And,
is.
it's,
And the fun thing is you can play a really quick
it's
game
just
with
a
4
brutal,
people. I bet
horrible,
you they'll be
terrible
done
machine.
super fast because all
And-
balls are dream.
All
One
right,
of
you
the-
guys
We only
should
have
play
5
it.
heads to knock
One
down,
of,
but
yeah, one of the things
you
I really
probably
like
get
about
one
this
in the
game,
entire
especially
game.
when it's quieter in here, is when
Um,
you rip a ball
so
up
yeah,
over those little
backing up
button
to Tom's
things,
Electro
it goes
would be a nice. It is
It just has a really
such
cool
fun
mechanical
game.
sound. 'Cause it has to
And
manually
I've
keep track
played
of the
once
score.
where I had like
So when
6
you have them all
Electra
lit
units,
and all
so
going,
6 seconds
that's
down
That's
on
what
the
I
lower
like about
playfield, and I ended up playing for
Yeah.
almost an
Mechanical.
entire minute,
Yeah,
and
I
I
love
felt
it. I mean, aside from
amazing.
the, not being able
Keeping
to
the
reset
ball going, the
score,
tiny
but-
little playfield.
That's the thing about the
Um,
manual ones, right? Is you have the
Spike
ability to
says,
open it
"Is
and
there a
make it work.
flag?"
Yeah,
pole?" I
and
think
these,
it's a
they're
We don't have
all
any
machines, they're
flagpoles.
always breaking.
They might have one at the
Sure,
fire
they're
station
very
across the
mechanical.
street.
There. And it's a 3-ounce ball that's slamming into
I
stuff.
think I've been tempted to put my tongue on a flagpole or a tetherball
Yeah.
pole when I was younger because I watched that movie, but I don't know. I can't remember if I did, and if I did, I repressed the memory.
All right, I've got to play Dragon. We're
Okay.
gonna hear some whooping and hollering and some oh crap.
So I'm just down to the last 2 comments. Tom here says, who is talking about
Mrs. said
Electra,
it would be more fun to pick it up if she was in Halifax on business. Ah, yeah.
and then the missus is here.
This is the missus being me. Also thinks we should bring Hurricane
Home.
home. Nah, Hurricane's fine.
Yeah. I mean, we have, what is it? Pinbot and Jackpot and
yeah.
Comet and Hurricane. And
I have
we're
the
missing
bookends.
Yeah.
I'm missing the ones in the middle.
Cyclone and Bride of Pinbot, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, so the ones we have for sale right now are the Blackwater and the Electra. And the Electra 7's probably going to have running soon. He's just, it's a time thing, getting the time to fix that switch.
I'll have to see what
It was sign out, I think.
yeah, he said to clip the capacitor and see if that makes a difference. I will
Yeah.
do that now.
Oh, well, there you go.
Let's try it.
Well, it's a little quiet. Yeah, so Electra and Spectrum. We had to pull Spectrum because the paint was starting to peel, and that's another time one. 7 can probably redo the play field in a day or 2, but it's just finding the time to do that. So I think we need to start thinking about our Pinbot and a Cyclone. Oh my gosh. Maybe we should think about trade. I mean, maybe we could trade the Cyclone for an Electra. But the Spectrum, the paint was coming off its primary colors on most of the machine, so it would probably be very easy to color match. It's not going to be like the paint job that 7 had to do on Skateball, which was essentially pointillism. And but it's, having to take all of the plastics off, paint everything, and then clear coat it a couple of times, and then put all the plastics on, and just making sure that everything is, nothing gets stuck in it, or none of the scoops, like on Flash, for example. Flash, we've got a in the near future. It's not doing too bad, but Flash is another one we've got to pull and do some repainting on. And it also needs a clear coat, because when you're clear coating it, especially in the spots where the scoops or the rollovers, sorry, not rollovers, the lights. Sorry, my brain's not working. The lights in the play field. They scoop out over the years, so you need to make sure that you're pooling your clear coat in there so that everything is level. And that takes time because you don't want to spray too much on, and you don't want to spray too little and then have to do millions and millions and millions of little coats. But we had to do that on Skateball, and the same with Meteor, which we don't have in here right now. I think it was having a power supply issue. But that one, Seven redid the entire playfield on. It was fantastic. So you already have a Pinbot and Cyclone. Amazing, good games. And a Time Zone 2-player version as well. Time Zone is just a gorgeous game as well. The fun little tunnel, the time tunnel. And that's one of the things we went after with our collection, is finding different gimmicks when we started. I mean, we had Hard Body. The next game we wanted was Pop Bumpers. The game after that we wanted to have multi-ball, and then it just went from there. And then we started looking for games that had really weird aspects to it. We weren't looking for the top 10, the ones that everybody had. We wanted ones that were different. Cyclone was your first restaurant. I'm kind of attached to it. Well, I can't make any promises on that because it's up to 7. Just throwing that out there. But I totally feel you on the restoration games. I think it would be... Skateball is gorgeous. It would be hard to get rid of Skateball, and like Palooka as well. You know, some of these games that Seven's done a lot of work on. I did not even think about putting LEDs in the time tunnel. Does it still, one of the issues that we've had with putting LEDs in certain games with incandescents where there's movement, like Cue Ball Wizard and roller games, is that the LEDs don't have the same slow moving on and off as the incandescents do. So we've actually put LEDs in roller games in the 8, but it went too fast. It didn't have the same nice motion of on and off. So we took them out and put incandescents back in. Right? It's still really fun though.
It's a brutal machine.
Yeah, awesome.
It kicked our butt. Thanks so much. We had a great time.
What? Fabulous. All right, we'll hope to see you guys then again.
Do you guys do a group photo of us?
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Do you want it in front of the machines or the disco booth?
Like the disco booth. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we have a design.
Yeah, you can sit in the disco booth and Seven will take a picture of you. Yeah, so it would be interesting to know, like, because the time tunnel has a really good movement with the incandescents, and there's just some games where the movement, the timing of how the lights are supposed to go on and off just don't translate. We feel don't translate as well with LEDs, so some things you have to leave a couple LEDs in. So roller games does have a mix of LEDs and
All right, there you go.
Thank you.
and I think someone just pulled up. We might have maybe a little modern, but
Thank you so much. We enjoyed it.
excellent. Well, you
Thanks
guys
for
have a
coming in.
lovely evening. Come back anytime.
Watch the parking lot right when you leave. I was just had run out for a little errand. It's a little slick right there.
Yeah.
But
Chris, can you send me a copy of that picture?
So they're saying, Tom says that they works fine, maybe a little modern but tolerable, the lights. Maybe we should, in the time tunnel, in their time zone.
oh, I have LEDs in mine.
Oh, never mind.
In that one I do, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so I did not realize.
I put in color-coded ones for the different levels. And, yeah.
Oh.
And then at the very bottom for the 5,000, I have a RGB changey one that kind of slow fades between the colors, yeah. Because that's white down at the bottom.
I haven't played that game in a really long time. I totally forgot that. I can't remember everything that Seven's done.
Yeah.
Only some of the things. So I was joking. They said they had a Cyclone. I said maybe we could trade a Cyclone for Electra. But Tom says that Cyclone was his first restoration, so he's kind of attached to it. And I said that's understandable. We've got some games. I don't know if we'd want to sell them because you've done such amazing work on them.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Did you
Did
get your
you-
pizza? What happened to it? It's in the car.
Mm.
It's in the refrigerator that we keep out in the parking
Oh,
lot.
interesting.
Because it's 2 out there right now.
Tell us more about these controllers for LEDs, Tom. I did not know about that. I was talking about like roller games and the incandescence, not the
Yeah.
LEDs not necessarily translating over, but one of the controllers to smooth out the LED's function. Interesting.
Yeah, I have to do. I'm going to do a video on it because Medusa has a whole ton of lights in it, and they're all incandescents. I haven't changed anything. I put a couple in the back box, but most everything else is incandescents. And I want to do a video on changing them out to see what the power draw difference is, just because I'd be super interested. Plus, that game, because there's so many LEDs, just touching, like if you go up and put your hands on the lockdown bar, it's warm. And that one in the summer,
It overheats.
it would overheat periodically. And I actually on the rectifier board that's in the cabinet down in the middle of the cabinet, we popped a transistor on that, and I had mounted the transistor up higher and put a heat sink on it because it was getting so warm, and then the extra heat from the whole thing, it was causing that transistor to fail. So.
And that's one of those games that has the piggyback solenoids, isn't it?
It has a solenoid expander in it.
Solid, and that's what we thought it was at first. Was it? It was something else, wasn't it? It was a capacitor or something.
No, it was a transistor on the rectifier. No,
okay.
it was not the transistor, or was it a rectifier? I think it was a rectifier.
We had two.
Oh, it was I'm sorry, it's a rectifier that's on there, not a transistor. It's a rectifier, and then I mounted the 4 legs up higher and put a thing on it.
And we had 2 games that had the expander pack. What was the second game? And they went down Speakeasy, one after the other, which was crazy.
Yeah.
And as it happened, Seven was like, "I'm just gonna order a second
I ordered 3.
3."
I got 3 of them.
And right after the order came in, Speakeasy went down, and he was able to fix both of them in a day.
Weird thing about that though is it worked fine in Medusa, but in Speakeasy, it lowered everything that's on that expander. It sort of lowered the power. So like the pop bumpers are a little weaker. But so many kids play that game, and it's a good game. I like to use that game to teach people how to play pinball. And so I actually haven't minded that it has a little less oomph to it. The flippers are still nice and powerful, but the slingshots and the pop bumpers are a little weaker. And I think that that's better for kids and people because you don't have the ball flying all over the place super fast. So
Yeah, it's a
I haven't
popular
really
game.
sweat it.
That whole row over there, we've got Volley, Palooka, and Speakeasy. And they're all really popular. There's usually always someone playing them when we have folks in here.
Palooka gets so much love in here. People love that game.
I mean, once they figure out, like, there's just I think the quirkiness of it, the aesthetic, and also the fact of going back to ball lifters. That, you know, this idea that you push it in and then it scoops the ball up and it puts it in the trough. People just love it. Absolutely love it.
And I modified that one because that's the era where you would get 5 balls per game, and there were 5 balls in the machine, and each ball has a switch. So you can actually, in the era with the ball lifter, if you have all 5 balls in there, you could actually launch them one after the other and have 5 balls on the playfield if you wanted to. But I didn't want to.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't want people to do that. So
We get people that come in and we'll show them about the ball lifter, and then they'll get a little too excited,
Aggressive.
and then they like
slam it.
in,
Pow.
and then you hear it hit the glass. And one of these days, I'm convinced that the glass is gonna break, and I'm just like, and sometimes it'll startle the people doing it themselves because they don't realize that they could be that aggressive, and just like, hey, gently, like you're petting a cat.
And that one has there's a little bit on the apron. There's a little wraparound that's supposed to go on the apron, and it's just, hey, it's camera adventure time. Let's go look at it.
So Tom says time zone is all incandescent on the playfield, but he put LEDs in the back box to help preserve the black glass. We've been doing on the ones that we find might be crunchy or flaky. We've been doing Krylon.
Camera Safari Adventure Time.
All right, we're gonna go look at the lockdown bar.
Yeah, so this is supposed to have a little. This is supposed to kind of come down over to here, but it's been slammed into so many times it's all bent up and out of shape. But nothing I can do about that. What else? We were talking about something else. What were we talking about? Dragon? Oh, we were talking about Dragon. Let's go look at Dragon.
Someone's gonna show you Dragon.
My camera's a little fuzzy. Hold, please.
That's
a little
much better.
Yeah, so Dragon is a fantastic interflip game. Acrylic playfield. It has these really unusual targets. And the idea is that if you can clear 1 through 5, either there or at the top, I've got it set that it will light this or this for a special. And I think it might be the pop bumpers that cause it to go back and forth. If you knock down all 5 dragon heads, then it lights this for a special. And these are extra balls, and I think that's an extra ball as well. But the thing that makes this game so tough is that it has this nasty little outlane here. So when the ball comes down and you just try to catch it normally, if it has any momentum, it slowly rolls here and goes bloop. Yeah. One-handed. Let's see what I can do. I couldn't have hit that if I tried. Couldn't have hit that if I tried. Oh, strange science. You're such a noisy bugger. Well, yeah. So that's Dragon. And then we got a little damage on the back glass last winter when this place froze. Our heat pump failed to work because it was so cold out. And when we warmed it all back up, we had a whole bunch of damaged back glasses, and that was one of them. But I can actually, that's opaque, so I can color match it and clean that all up. And luckily, it wasn't in anywhere else, but. And here's Medusa. Just all incandescents in here. And I'm gonna leave these incandescents because I like I like the movement. Hey, she's gone. Where'd she go? I go on a camera safari adventure time and she disappears on me. Weep. There we go. Oh, of course I turned that off. All right, Spike is leaving. Is that what I saw? Yep. All right, Spike, see you later. Oh, this is not the right camera. I want this camera. We don't need the up the nose camera. Is there a recurring beeping noise coming from somewhere? That's strange science. It's the attract. Oh wait, it's not the attract mode. There's a ball in the thing.
What did you do?
I reset strange science because it was being needy. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Is this from your shoes?
That's probably from my shoes. Water on the floor.
I was talking about you clear coating the back glasses.
Oh, So yeah, so I'm using Krylon Triple Thick, and then I just started using another one. I forget the name of it.
It wasn't triple thick. It was like the single. It's in the back.
Glaze coating or something.
Yeah, Seven had done a whole video thing on using Krylon triple thick, and we thought that was the best. But then after the big freeze last year, in February, we started using a different one that we found prevented a lot more rippling.
Yeah, it's also by Krylon. It's called Crystal Clear. It's this stuff. And it seemed to be a little less aggressive with some of the paints, because some of the paints or the inks or whatever they use on the back glasses, sometimes you'll get a reaction and it'll curl up a little bit. This did not seem to do that as much, and so you give it, I don't know, 2 or 3 coats. If you have time, if you're not rushing, give it 2 or 3 coats of this light, and then after that you can hose it down a little bit thicker, and it seemed to work just fine. But yeah, I would on the store reel windows and stuff, or on the display windows, just mask it off. And,
if it wasn't an emergency situation like we had, I think last year on Superstar, we just blasted the whole thing because it was literally just falling off.
Both that and triple action, both those back glasses just got wasted.
Yeah.
They just destroyed. Skate ball took a little bit of damage, and
Dragon.
something else. Dragon got some damage. There
Spectrum.
was a couple others. Spectrum got a little bit.
Flash, I think. I think we sprayed Flash down. Yeah. What's funny is we had what do you call it? Strange Science. We didn't realize that was paint when we had stored it, and it was stored over winter. We thought it was Translite, but the cool thing about it is it's created this kind of it looks almost like a lightning effect under the paint, and it ripples, and so it looks like it's supposed to be that way. It worked out okay,
not
but
too bad.
yeah, not too bad.
Krylon product on a playfield or something. There's also another spray can that's it's the Varathane Diamond Coat. I've used that on playfields, and it works. I did that on skateball and a couple other ones, and it works really well. And I actually would prefer to do something like that on an EM or an older solid state, because it's a little bit softer, and so the ball doesn't just fly super fast. The way that the play field, the hardness of the play field is more like how it was originally. If you were to use like an automotive clear on it, those drive really hard, and the ball would just fly around in those. And I know some people like doing that, but I kind of like to keep them sort of about how they would play normally. Yeah. A lot of people high tap their games too, where on some of the EMs you can tap into a higher voltage for the flippers and stuff, and it gives everything a bit more zip and punch. But I don't do that on any of these. I leave them all at sort of the original lower power setting. Also because these are the original plastics, and I don't want them to get all busted up, because these games get played a lot. So if you high tap everything, then your ball's flying around a lot faster. You're breaking a lot. Like all of my volley drop targets are all original. If I were to high tap it, they'd all be busted in no time, I'm sure.
I was also saying, when you're doing those clear coats, doing them lighter, but also you have to be careful because of all of the inserts, and they oftentimes, like Lightning right now, or Flash, sorry, Seven's got to repaint, and some of the inserts on that one, there's a couple that are very dented, so when we do the clear coat, we'll add just a little extra to try and smooth those out.
You can sand them down. You take them out, you sand them smooth, and then you put them back in, and that's a way to do it. But I actually had, I think, Skateball and Meteor had slightly scooped inserts, and so I just added a little bit extra clear in there and sanded it down, and got them to level out, so it was perfectly fine for that.
Crystal clear, several quotes. Tom says, before I covered it with a playfield protector. Like a Mylar, the playfield. Someone was talking about a different playfield protector last week that was,
Yeah,
it was different than a Mylar.
It's a clear, it's not an acrylic, it's like a PETG or PTEG plastic. It's a thin, clear plastic that you put down on top of the playfield and that protects it.
Is that almost like a screen protector type?
Almost,
like?
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard, you know.
I wonder
It's a good idea.
about peeling it off though.
It doesn't adhere.
It doesn't adhere.
No, it just lays on top of it. And that you have to take everything off the playfield. You lay this thing down, and then all of the other stuff on the
So it's kind of
playfield
like
hold it in place.
when you put on those stupid stickers on the back of your car. They'll peel off really easily.
Yeah, it didn't look
But
like
it
there was
doesn't
any
move.
adhesive on it at all. You just lay it down in it. Which I guess is fine if you have a bunch of, like if you have scooped inserts or something, then that would
Yeah.
solve that problem. Yeah.
Do you get many customers after
Oh, that was you talking about.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Excellent, Tom. Thank you. Jared, after 9:30. It really depends. Some nights we'll have like a full house because we have our date night the last 2 hours that we're open. You get $5 off for 2 people. And some nights it's a little slower. It's hit or miss. Saturdays are always busy during the day. And in the evenings, sometimes Fridays and Saturdays it's packed and sometimes it's not. Like we know we'll be busy. We just don't know, you know, how busy we'll be. Hello, PsychoSin13. I don't know if you've just joined the chat or not. I remember when the big freeze, when that happened to you. I recently got a Zakaria universe that is in the garage, and when the temps dipped, I ran out there and brought in the back glass. Good job. The other thing is that some of the games had issues with the cold as well. So if you could put an oil space heater in there, just on low beside the machine to keep it warm, because the roller games had issues with getting that cold and then restarting, and quite a few of our EMs, the grease just froze in a lot of the parts. So I would say just get a little space heater and keep that out there just to keep the rest of the game warm, so that those parts, you don't have some kind of weird implosion outside of the back glass.
Zakaria universe. I have to look that up. PETG. What is PETG? It's polyethylene terephthyl something or the other glycol.
Terephthalate glycol. That's quite a thing.
Zakaria universe. I love Zakaria games because they're so beautiful. They're always so brightly colored and stuff.
So the Mylar has an adhesive, but you can. Seven's done a video on it, removing it with compressed air, because it freezes the glue or the adhesive in there, and then you can peel it off a lot easier. Tom mentioned this to us last time we were on the chat, the non-adhesive stuff. So it'd be interesting to. Oh, is that an EM?
Yeah.
Yes, you should definitely. PsychoSyn, definitely get at least a space heater in there, because your motors and your score reels, everything that might have a little bit of grease can seize when the temperatures are dipping down. If you're not planning on playing it until the spring, it might be okay because it'll have time to warm up, but just be aware of that if you're wondering why the game's acting funny when it's that cold out.
Yeah, it's a cool looking game.
Oh, that looks fun.
Yeah.
Oh, look at all those groovy little kind of planets. We're looking up the Zakaria universe.
Yeah. I like the little plastics with the little Saturns on it and stuff.
Well, these are
Yeah,
kind of
it's
neat. The 3 main targets, they're at different angles.
Mhm.
That's really fun. Tom says quite often there is only minimal playfield dismantling. You can still clean and wax it though. Oh, that's pretty cool.
I do not wax any of my machines.
Don't tell anyone.
I used to, but I just don't do it anymore. It just they seem to get dirtier faster if I put wax on them. I think it's just because there's just so much carbon or whatever being being produced in that black kind of city weirdness that comes in pinball machines, and it just goops up on all of the play
And
fields.
some
and
of,
blacks
especially the machines that have more of that happening, like the ones that get dirtier with the carbon faster, like Valhalla, we have found is one of those machines that gets a little dirty pretty quick. Starship Troopers is a very dirty game.
And I had another Sega, the Lost World Sega. That one just got filthy. Like every 3 weeks, you'd have to clean that thing out.
So with the wax, I can only imagine
It's worse.
that it would just be really, really just sticking to it. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Psycho Sin hasn't messaged back after I said, go buy a space heater. I hope you haven't run out of the house to go buy one. I'm sure it would be okay, but I just wanted you to be aware of our experience last year. Even with outside of the back glass, we did also have issues with starting the machines after they got cold. Like, I think if they had slowly warmed up, because we've had some of our machines in cold storage, but they've been okay when we've started them in the spring and the summer, figure out the kinks. But if you start them while it's cold or right after they've gotten cold, that's when the issues occurred.
Of the EMs, the oils that are in the motors, it just was too thick at that cold a temperature, and they just didn't want to start. Some of the ones where they had oiled particular areas, maybe areas that are supposed to run dry, but someone at some point had oiled it and it hasn't caused a problem yet. But yeah, there were 3 or 4 of them that just didn't want to do anything until it warmed up.
Yeah.
Truth be told, I don't play enough to wax regularly.
Hey.
I did at first. I was everybody said you got to wax the play fields and you got to do this and you got to do that, and I did. And all of my machines, I would clean them and wax them and everything, but now I just don't bother. I clean them if I have to. I usually have to pull the glass on the machine. On each machine in here, the glass has been pulled at least once every 3 or 4 months for one reason or another. And if I pull the glass off and I notice that the machine is getting a little gunky, then I usually just wipe it down with a rag and naphtha and clean it off and clean off the rubbers and do all that.
We clean the glass. We usually clean both sides of the glass at that point.
But for the most part, like some of these, like I don't know if I've ever even cleaned Speakeasy since it's been in here. I've wiped the rubber down, but I don't know if I've ever cleaned the playfield on it. Some of them I haven't had to.
Yeah, it's really interesting how some of them get the carbon issues and like just the dust on them. Like Hot Wheels, I think we've only cleaned once or twice maybe since we've had it in the last year. Because we got that one in October or maybe September of 2022. And it's been a very clean machine, no issues with it whatsoever. But we've definitely noticed with Legends of Valhalla, same company, that it gets dirtier faster. Mm-hmm. The funny thing about that is that it's supposed to be a Viking game with lots of dark spots and things on it, so you wouldn't notice that it was dirty anyways.
Yeah, you don't really notice. It's kind of like that industrial gray carpet that they use in a lot of office spaces and stuff. You don't quite notice like all the little spots of coffee that have been spilled and that kind of thing. Valhalla sort of has the same design concept going on. I just look at Speaky. It doesn't look like I've ever cleaned that since we've been in here. It could use a cleaning, but it's not disgusting to the point where someone would look at it and go, "Ugh, this machine is nasty." It just has a little bit of buildup on it. But.
Yeah. No, I think they're all pretty good. Monaco is our newest. Seven brought you over to it earlier, and that machine is gorgeous as well. So Tom was saying that modern games have such congested play fields. Can't imagine they'd be easy to clean. It really depends on what, like there's some other games, like if we're talking about Starship Troopers, that one was done in the 90s, right? and that one's got a very full play field, lots of little fiddly bits and, you know, monsters and ramps and things, so it's hard to get your fingers under them. I mean, Legends of Valhalla is actually a pretty open play field. It's got a couple of ramps, so that one's not too terrible to clean. Hot Wheels has a couple more things going on it. I mean, I really think it depends what the machines are. I would agree, a lot of newer machines have more gimmicks on the playfield, so it can be a bit harder to clean them. But if you have the glass off and you take your time and you're not rushing, you can usually get around and clean things pretty easily.
I just, speaking of having the glass off and cleaning machines, I haven't taken the glass off Genie since Halloween because there's still scorpions.
Well, and the same with, so at Halloween we bought a whole bunch of thingies to put in the machines and to decorate, and Jacob was working regularly for us at the time, and so we just told him to go at it, and so we came in and there were like bugs and eyeballs and fingers and body parts and baby heads in all these machines, and it was hilarious. And so there's still some machines that have like fingers and ears, and I can see 2 eyeballs right now on Cue Ball Wizard, which you wouldn't necessarily know that they were eyeballs, and they weren't billiard balls. Pins and Fins, welcome to the chat. Where are you from?
Says hi there, from Washington, D.C. suburbs. Love your arcade and channel. Would love to visit Prince Edward Island just to play your pinball machines. Well, we would love to have you. Washington.
So do you have Pins and Fins? Do you have an arcade or something down in Washington? Which of your machines gets the most plays? That is a really difficult question.
Yeah.
Haluka definitely is one of the most popular machines.
So it depends on who it is. So we have a lot of kids that come in here and they've never played pinball before. And we always show them how to play pinball in speakeasy because it's kind of off to the side. We were just talking about this actually earlier, that I had to change the solenoid expander in it, and because it had failed. And when I changed it out with a new one, the pop bumpers and the slingshots weren't as powerful. But since kids play that, and new players play that, I haven't bothered to investigate it. I've just left it at the lower power because then the ball doesn't go flying around super fast. It's really easy for them to play. And they also like the add a ball, subtract a ball feature on that one.
Sometimes they chant. It's hilarious.
Yeah, we've had kids gathered around speakeasy, and when the little wheels spins, they're like, add a ball, and then it finally does it, and they all like lose their shit. It's really funny. So when you teach someone on a pinball machine, we found with kids, they go off and play another, but they always come back to it. So that gets a lot of love for that. People gravitate towards Starship Troopers. They play that a lot. Hot Wheels and Valhalla get a lot of play.
Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble gets a lot of play.
And Tales from the Crypt.
And Tales from the Crypt. But we do have a whole bunch of people come in, like that last group before that came in. They gravitated mostly to the EM machines.
Yeah.
So they'll play a lot of those. But I know some that don't get. Oh, Cue Ball Wizard gets played a lot. I see that one played a lot.
Roadshow gets a fair bit of play.
I haven't seen. It's probably easier to say what isn't getting played. So I had Triple Action and Superstar in here, and I saw people playing those less and less, and they both kind of started having some kind of issues. So I just yanked them. I just pulled them out of here. Blackwater 100. People either love it or they hate it. No, let me rephrase that. They either love it or they don't get it.
Yeah.
And they'll shoot a ball up to the top ramp, and you're supposed to shoot 3 balls up there, and then they all drop and come down at once. People will shoot a ball up there. It doesn't do anything. They don't know what they're supposed to do. They haven't read the instructions. I even wrote out the instructions and put them on the back glass. But the ball just sits up there, and they kind of shrug and walk away. So we find a lot of abandoned games on Blackwater. And that's the same with Electra. Electra is a little bit more of you have to kind of know what you're doing to play it. It's a great game. I love it. But you have to kind of know a little bit about it. People walk up to Electra, and they want to get into that lower play field, but they don't know how that happens.
Yeah.
And so they'll play a ball. They never get into the lower play field. They're like, I don't know how to get down there, and then they just walk away. So we found a lot of abandoned games on that one too.
I mean, we like the game, but you know, we like quirky, weird stuff. So
If I had to say one,
Genesis gets played a lot
Genesis
too.
gets played a lot.
Yeah.
Royal Flush. I mean, they all kind of do. But if I had to pick one game in here that I see people camp down on playing the most of, it's not a pinball machine. It's Terminator Salvation.
Yeah.
Because it's rare to see that game on set to free play, and it's a completely different beast on free play because you can there's basically 2 scenes that you can go through, and people will camp out on the machine. They go through both scenes, and then they walk away going, "Oh, my arms are killing me."
And what's funny, I mean, it people take a lot of time playing that game, but we haven't had too many times where we've had to remind people to be aware of other people waiting to play the game. Like they'll play it for 20 minutes and then they'll stop. If there's nobody in here, we'll have people that'll play it for an hour straight and do the entire game. And then they're just like, oh, my arms are sore. And that one is also for sale if you are interested.
Yeah.
Terminator Salvation. We want to put some more arcade games and pinball machines in here, and that takes up a couple spots. So
Takes up a lot of room.
Electra,
Yeah.
Blackwater 100, and Terminator Salvation. If you are interested, we can also help find you a group that ships. Dan Ross is really great.
Mike says, do you find balls get dirtier faster on a waxed or an unwaxed playfield? On a waxed one, definitely. There was a game, I think it was Skateball. When we brought that in, I had just done, I had just cleaned the play, I had just redone the playfield, painted the playfield, clear coated the playfield, waxed it, and then had it in our house for a while, and then it just went into storage. When we brought it in here, I actually noticed that, like, why is this ball always look nasty? And it's because it had that old coat of wax on it. And I kept taking the ball out of it, cleaning it off, and putting it back in. And then I was like, oh, it's still wax. So I actually stripped all the wax off of it. It's been fine ever since. But I did notice that when, like, I hardly ever have to clean the balls in here because they always look perfectly fine. There's nothing in the machine that can actually adhere to it because I don't use wax. So
We replace them. I mean, we replace them when they get dinged up. And what's fun is we'll give them to kids when, you know, if they seem really interested in games and things, and they love it. Absolutely love getting a pinball, and they are always so surprised at the weight of it. You just don't understand how heavy they can be, right?
Pins and Fizz asks, what was the one you had in the corner and then moved?
Which corner? We've got 4 of them. Actually, we've got more than 4 corners. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 corners. He had said before, Pins and Fins is just a pinball nerd that started watching your old repair movie or videos before we moved. And there's still more repair videos coming. Seven's going to be doing Hollywood Heat soon.
Hollywood Heat. I actually have Monaco that I'm still working on because when I got Monaco, it would only do a 4-player game and it would get stuck on ball 2. So I started kind of tinkering with that back in my workshop. So I started filming that. And then I got it going where you can play a full single-player game. It doesn't go into 4 players. You can't load it up.
It started
4
by
players.
only doing 4-player games, though.
But I fixed it. So I would rather have it be a 1-player game that you can play ball 1, 2, and 3 than a 4-player game
And you have
that
12
you're stuck
balls.
on ball 2 on player 1. So,
Yeah.
but I don't have the schematics for it, so I'm not really sure what's causing that. But I do have Mars Trek, and that's made by Sonic, and it was made right before or right after Monaco was made. And they're the same units inside of it. Like the inside of the machines are identical. So I can actually open up Mars Trek, and I'll cover this on the video. I got to the point where I got player 1 working balls 1 through and 3, and then we had to bring it in here because we had this storm coming, and I wanted to yank the 2 other machines.
Yeah.
Superstar and Triple Action. I wanted
And
to pull
making
those
room for the other
and
game.
get Monaco in here. So I was like, I'm just going to bring it in as a 1-player and it'll be fine, and then I'll sort it out later. So one of the videos that I'm working on is that one, and I'll actually compare Mars Trek and Monaco and see if I can figure out, looking at Mars Trek and see what it's doing to start a 2-player game or a 3-player game. Maybe I could start out in Monaco because right now I'm not really sure. Yeah. And there was another one that I have that Sea Wolf, that weird ass machine.
Yeah, we need to get that one. That one is really
And
weird.
I want to bring that one in.
That
here.
one we got from someone in Newfoundland, I think. It was
Yeah.
one of our. It was the first game we bought after we moved here, and that one's been sitting in the workshop. But there's, we pulled a lot of games when we first opened that had just something go down, and we didn't have time to fix them. So, so we just threw another game in. So like Meteor. Motordome, and they're things where 7 just needs a little bit of time to go into it. Hello.
You can come in and look around.
Oh yeah, no, I've been here before.
Oh, okay.
excellent.
It's changed around a little bit since the last time I was here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Any
It
drinks?
makes more sense to have this by the door.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's awesome. Yeah.
Any drinks or snacks while you're waiting for your pizza, or to take with your
Actually,
pizza?
Maybe, yeah.
we have
That's a
people
good
that
idea.
come in and grab drinks now when we've got a little
You guys
bit
have
more
the
variety.
Chinese.
Yeah, we just got those in.
We're always trying to find the weird, unusual stuff that
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
normally see.
Love it. How much are the chubbies? Are they $1.52?
Yeah,
They're
just
$1.50.
$1.50. And I've got a little carrying thing for you too, so if you get more than one, I can put it in one of these. All right. Goes all the way around the corner, I hate to tell you.
Oh, I love it. So much fun. I don't have one of those.
All right.
Probably gonna get a Reese's cake.
Oh, excellent. Okay, that comes to
Oh, my friend.
8:05.
We're definitely do debit, please.
Okay.
Not bad, but
I don't know.
I had to turn the music down because I don't want it to come across on the video.
Ah. All right, we've got our.
Oh,
Oh, hold on. Let me push the button,
I don't have
and
time.
there you go. No worries. Spin it right around for you.
Thank you.
Did you find all your change?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it fell into
No,
some of
they-
the.
This box
Perfect.
is garbage.
Okay. Don't forget your card.
Thank you.
And there you go, a little
Thank
carrying
you,
case.
guys.
All
Great.
right.
See ya.
Have a lovely evening. And we're back. I can't remember what we were talking about.
The one that we were talking about machines that I was doing, and then the Sea Wolf or the Sea Hunt game,
Yeah.
which is a pinball machine that looks like an arcade machine. It's a 70s machine, and it's just weird. It's just super weird. There's no buttons. There's like these controllers, and the buttons are on the top. And then to nudge the machine, you move the little controllers, and the playfield actually plays. There's a mirror, and you're looking at the mirror, and your playfield is all printed backwards, and it goes the opposite direction. It's just strange. It's really weird. It's all black light lit and stuff, but yeah, it's super crazy.
That comment from Mick is from when I said that Terminator is also available for
Oh.
sale, I think. I think that's what that comment was from.
JRSC is leaving. Bye.
Bye.
See you next time.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, Pins and Pins. I love those old Atari Vector Monitor games. Would love to have a Tempest, Asteroids Deluxe, Battlezone, or Lunar Lander. Have the Battlezone in the back. That was always my game when I was a kid. I loved that. I want a Red Baron, which is the same, but you're in a biplane. And a Tempest would be fun to have, but outside of the Red Baron, I think the two vector games that I will want is Gravatar, which is just bizarre, and I actually have my Double Dragon is in a Gravatar cabinet.
The side art is pretty fun.
And then the other one is the Star Wars one, where you fly in the Death Star kind of thing. Yeah, that's kind of fun. Do you buy games now based on what you enjoy yourself or what you think customers want to play? It's a little bit of both.
Yeah. I mean, with Electra, we thought Spectrum was so popular, and Electra is same company, weird sort of game. We thought people would love it, but
they didn't understand.
They didn't.
And same with Blackwater.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all about the gimmicks. I'm about the weird things and the weird objectives in machines. And so I thought that people would really get into that, and they just kind of flopped. Like, they're like all the limits. I bought Monaco. That came from a place a guy on the island had it. And it's just sort of it has a moving target on it, which I thought people would really enjoy.
Yeah.
It seems to be getting a fair amount of love so far.
I mean, Triple Action, when it was played, people did like it because it had the wheel in the center where you rolled across it, it would spin, and so your ball could go anywhere. It's like the OG version of the magnet under the playfield in Addams Family and Valhalla, right? Yeah. So that type of gimmick.
Sounds like a Spooksville machine. I don't know.
What is that?
I don't know.
Spooksville. Forgot about Red Baron. What was funny, just going back to the vector graphics, when Seven got the Battle Zone, he was so excited. And we were working on getting it on free play. We were working on putting some games over in the other side, and so we didn't have it on free play yet. And we had it in here, and we were kind of just letting people play it, and so
it was like the first day or two that we had it.
Yeah, so we were dropping quarters into the machine for people so that they could try playing it, and the kids absolutely loved it. And that was the first arcade game that we brought in, I think. And
that was the first arcade game I ever bought.
Yeah, and then we said people could play it like. After a little while, they'd have to put their own quarters in. So it was like the only game we had in here on Coin Drop, and then we finally moved it over to the other side. And it probably made the most. Like, people really loved that game, and they still love it. We have people that come over, and they're like, I got the high score. It resets every day. But that one's still really popular. It's a really fun game. Kids really love it. And adults, too. Like, they remember Battlezone. My game was... Neo Geo Bubble World. That was the game that was at the laundromat when I was a kid. So eventually, we are going to get Neo Geo Bubble World or Bubble Bobble and bring it in.
I have to look up Spooksville.
Okay. Oh, it is.
Yes, it's exactly the same. Yeah.
I wonder, is it by the same company?
I think so. Yeah.
That is what a weird name. And I was thinking it was going to be something spooky looking, but it looks like it's a disco. Are those supposed to be monsters? Is that a spook? Is that like a disco vampire? Look, it's a disco vampire on the side. And spines and eyeballs. Okay, this is a mummies and a skull. Oh my gosh, we need to find this machine.
Spooksville's the same, and mine, he had the legs for it. It uses like these weird short pinball legs. And when we had it shipped over, and when he shipped it, he forgot to ship the legs. But then I saw a picture of them. They were kind of ratty or whatever. And I actually thought, it doesn't need to be up on pinball legs. I would rather have it up on a pedestal with a pull-out, like the old shoot-'em-up games that you said, they would have a pull-out step for kids. Oh. So that's what I'm going to make for is I'm going to build a box to set it up on, and then a little thing that you can pull out so kids can stand on it. But yeah, our wide body games are worth the hype. It depends. It
Depends what game it is.
depends on what it is. I really enjoy playing something like Stellar Wars.
Yeah.
Which I have a Stellar Wars, and I like Genie. It's a different. You can set them differently, so the ball's a little bit more floaty. That's how I have Genie set. It's very, very floaty. I don't have it on much of an incline. And I played a Stellar Wars that was on much more of an incline, and it's a great, fun game.
I mean,
I have a James Bond. I have a
Royal Rumble's like a
Panthera.
half wide body too, and that one's pretty good as well.
It's a wider body.
Body, yeah.
It's not the big extreme ones like the old ones.
We want to get our James Bond in and put it beside
Secret Service.
Secret Service. And same with, we have a Lightning, and we want to put it beside Flash.
Yeah, so it just depends what you're looking for in a game. I like them. I like wide bodies. I think that they're great. I think that they're comical too, like some of the older ones, because you walk up to the playfield, they look more square than rectangular.
And especially when kids play them, it's so funny watching kids play these giant games.
They've got their arms stretched out the side. I've got a couple pictures of like 4-year-olds trying to play it. Pins and Fins says, do you view the arcade as money-making? I guess the arcade, the machines, as money-making devices or your personal collection? It's a little bit of both.
There's a few machines in here. We've actually talked about this. Like if we were to close and sell the whole collection, or sell off the collection.
What would we keep? Because we can't keep them
Yeah. A few of them, Palooka and Bali are top of the list.
Yeah. Royal Flush, I would want to keep.
Royal Flush, Genesis probably. Is really hard to pick. If we were, the Segas that came out around the same time, Starship Troopers, Royal Rumble, Tales from the Crypt, they're all still fun games. And those ones would be hard to part with, I think, because of that. And then we've talked about some of the newer games. Whether or not we'd keep Big Lebowski or Legends of Valhalla or Hot Wheels would be hard to decide. I'm not as attached to them, I guess. Well, we'll see, as some of the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, I still play Hot Wheels in Valhalla, and I still really like them, but
Yeah.
would I want them in my house? I don't know.
If I had to choose between the two of them, I think I'd actually choose. I like parts of Valhalla. I like Valhalla, but if I had to choose one or the other, I'd probably choose Hot Wheels.
Oh, I would too. Yeah.
But I have to say, if Galactic Tank Force is an amazing machine and is really fun, along with the artwork being awesome, I would trade both of those for Galactic Tank Force if it was that good. But then we still have just as many machines at home as we do here, so it would just be so hard to. We'd have to add an entire addition to our house to have the same amount of space as we had in our old house. We downsize the house, upside the land where we live. So.
Yeah, so I now when I buy machines, I see them as business assets. I'm not necessarily attached to them. I did a lot of work on some of these machines, and I'm not necessarily as attached as I thought I might have been to them. But yeah, I mean they're working machines, so I don't baby them. I see people all the time and I've had people comment where they look at Starship Troopers or one of the others with a DMD, and they're like, you can get a color DMD for this. Like, I could, but what am I going to get out of that? Like, if it were my home game, I probably would. But here, to put color DMDs in all of these, like, here they're like $800 each.
And it wouldn't, I don't know that it wouldn't add anything to the games for the players.
And nobody's going to care. The only people that are going to care are the people that only play games at people's houses where they pimped them out. Those are the only people that are really going to care if it's colored DMD or not. I don't think a lot of people really. I mean, most of the people that came in tonight, someone might go, "Oh, the display's different," but they're not going to get anything more out of it. So. I
mean, we had the Star Trek in here, and it had a color DMD, and I almost didn't like it. Like, it was just, I don't know. I'm fine with them not having the colored DMD.
How's business? Is this your sole job income? I'm sure the COVID restrictions were tough. So, business has been really good. It is currently my sole job income. Sophia works.
I have a second, or what would you call it? Regular job, and
You
then
have a regular job, but you're not full time, though, right?
well, between both of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work 4 days a week. I might work 5 days a week, but I need 1 day off a week.
We're making money.
Mm-hmm.
We have particular numbers that we want to hit every month, and we always hit the numbers. In our summer months, we're crazy, stupid busy. We make a pile of money in the summer from tourists and stuff. Last summer, we were actually taking reservations and turning people away at the door because we have too many people in here.
Yeah.
We could do with a space that's twice the size, and we probably, as long as we kept our overhead down, and that's something that I tried to do here because I've started businesses before, and the first year is always the toughest. The businesses I've started before they didn't get bumps from tourist traffic and stuff, and they weren't in tourist towns where that traffic would die off. Like I did a computer store and internet service and stuff like that. That was my traffic. My business was mostly locals. They were in tourist towns. So this is kind of a new thing for me, where you have like these slower periods in the winter and more rushes in the summer and all of that.
Well, fall and spring are more slower periods. Winter is still pretty busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
COVID restrictions, we weren't open yet.
We
moved
lucked out.
here the fall before COVID broke the next March. Our plan was we bought a house that needed some assembly, so the idea was we were going to spend the winter, we were going to work on the house, and then in spring we were going to all of these machines. Well, we still had 2 shipping containers with machines. They were still in BC, and the idea was we were going to wait until spring, have those brought over. I didn't want to have them shipped in the winter because they were going by truck. So I started looking at spaces in March.
Literally the first week of March.
And I found I found a couple places I was really interested in. One specifically I was really interested in. And I'm actually really lucky that the realtor kind of stonewalled me. She didn't want to show me the space, and she hasn't showed me any space. Every time I've ever inquired about a space from her, she's always like, I'm talking to someone about renting it. And I don't know what her problem is. Yeah, and then the place sits empty for 2 years. I don't get it, but whatever.
But anyways.
So I was actually kind of lucky that she stonewalled me on it, because I would have taken it, and then we would have been screwed. So
Yeah.
we missed all of that. We waited until things settled down, and we just worked more on the house and stuff.
Yeah. And then like we wanted to wait until things were better. We don't want to say over, but better. And summer of 2022, as we got into the spring and everything, seemed like things were at a point where opening a business based on touching things was okay.
Yeah.
So Mick says, as a personal preference, do you prefer franchise-themed machines or all kinds of series, such as you both have Cyclone and Hurricane?
We have Comet and Hurricane. We have the first and the last of the
Yeah.
themes. So we have the Pinbot and the Jackbot. We're missing the one in the middle. We have Comet. We have Hurricane. We're missing the one in the middle. My personal thing is I prefer the unique original themes.
Original themes.
Like Starship Troopers is fine, whatever. But Valhalla, Hot Wheels is a IP of someone else's, but it's not a movie or a band.
Yeah.
And Blackwater's after an actual race, but
And we have Lethal Weapon 3.
yeah.
Roller Games is after a TV show. If you haven't watched it, look it up on YouTube. It's hilarious. And then we have Tales from the Crypt and Royal Rumble. And I mean, I think those ones, they did a really good job on the theme, considering that it was like a movie. But there's not too many that we've really enjoyed. Like the music themed ones, do you like same music over and 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 over again? I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
And for the music themed ones, to be honest, I don't listen to a lot of those bands. Like I don't know. I mean, I can't think of a music theme one that I listened to that band.
Seven's
in a
gonna
really long
retheme
time.
Kiss to ABBA. That's the one that he would do. Only
The
be-
original. I have an original Kiss playfield, the '70s version one. I have the playfield and it's been stripped, so I want to paint. I want to do an ABBA themed one just for shits and giggles. And then I have a Sinbad, a Gottlieb Sinbad, and I've gone back and forth on what I wanted to do with that. I thought about making that a Kraftwerk machine.
Oh, that's
Because
right.
it's based on 4 as well. There's 4 targets here and there, whatever, and so I could have all the members of Kraftwerk, at least the 4 original ones. And nobody knows who Kraftwerk is, so that would be really awesome. And but I think that one's going to be rethemed as a game called Dark Ride, because I just want to play with blacklight and UV reactive stuff. Yeah, but I prefer the I think for long-lasting interest in all of that, big guns over there. It's not based on anything. It's like guys in space with big guns and big cannons, and
But it also
there's like
has
a
like medieval castles with a
medieval,
princess.
yeah, and a princess, and there's a floating eyeball and all kinds of other weird ass shit. That to me has more staying power than Stranger Things, where in 20 years, someone's gonna have a Stranger Thing machine, and people are gonna go, "What the hell is this?" Oh, it was a TV show that kind of got shitty after the 5th season or whatever, you know. And then everybody lost interest, and then they had the final season that pissed everybody off, or whatever. The people aren't going to know what it is. But big guns, you don't have to know what it is. It's an original thing. That's my feeling on it anyway.
And with series, we we got the Pinbot, and we like series are interesting. We don't have like the Pinbot series and the Comet series. We accidentally got the other ends. Like Pinbot we got in 7. If you haven't seen it, he's got a video on it where he's redone the entire cabinet in completely different and I think better colors.
Yeah, I had to paint the cabinet, and I had the stencils for it, so I just figured instead of doing the original colors, I'll just play with the colors.
No, and it looks fantastic. And then, as it turns out, Seven's friend had a jackpot down in the U.S. That he needed that was at another friend's house, and the other friend was moving, and they couldn't store the jackpot there anymore, and it needed some work on it, and so his friend just called him up and said, "Do you want this jackpot?" And Seven said, "Sure." He's like, "Okay, well, you need to come down tonight and get it." So we drove down to Seattle at like 7 o'clock at night and went and picked up a jackpot. And then we had Comet, and we were looking for a cyclone or a hurricane, and then the hurricane popped up in Toronto for a good price, and we thought it would be great, hoping that we'd find a cyclone. If there's any other series that you know of that we should look into getting, we don't mind them at all.
There's a couple of Pac-Man ones. There's the baby
Oh,
Pac-Man and
yes.
the
Mario.
Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man. There's the 2 Mario ones that
I
I
would
could think of.
love the Mario ones.
I can't think of anything else. Pins and Pins says, "Congratulations, I'm super happy that you're profitable. Well done, really neat to hear things are going well. We totally switched coast. Amazing, what a life
Yeah.
change." So the little bit of the backstory to that is Sophia was coming over to the island every couple of years to do a thing at the university. I was working and I couldn't take time off, so she'd come over here by herself. And she'd always come home going, "One day I want to move to PEI."
It was like a half joking.
Yeah. So the last time that she came over, I got time off and I came with her. So she's at university during the day. I'm in the rental car just driving around the island. And it was just one of those things, like we were trying to get set up, the arcade set up in BC around the Vancouver area, and having nothing but problems. We had a town actually ban arcades in the zone that we almost rented just because of us, which was fun. Arcades in Vancouver proper, they're 19 and over only. They don't allow kids in.
There's just so many old bylaws they refused to get
Yeah.
rid of, and either shades up all the time so you could see what was going on, or shades down all the time. Had to be in a mall. Couldn't be in a mall. all
Yeah.
these weird restrictions.
And our friend Brad opened up Capital City Arcade in New Westminster, and it took him like 2 years of working with the city council to get them to just give him a temporary variance to open. And there are all these weird terms, like I don't think he can have fighting games like Mortal Kombat and gun games. I don't think he can have anything like that. He can't be on coin drop. He has to be on pay to enter. There are all these weird speculations. Like I don't want to mess with any of that stuff. So I was kind of getting tired of I was getting frustrated of not finding a good place to open and a place that was affordable, that we could take the risk and open and do all that. So when we came over here, I was driving around and I'm giving it more serious thought, like maybe we could move. And I just said, yeah, let's see if we could figure it out and do it. So we went home, we looked at some stuff here. I called Charlottetown and Summerside and a few other areas and looked up their bylaws. And I called a few of them and just said, do you have a problem with arcades? And they're like, whatever you want. Let us know when you get here, we'll help you out. And they really have, like Cornwall, it's a little town just to the side of Charlottetown. Like
it's the fastest growing.
Throw
town.
a rock and it would land in Charlottetown. That's
Yeah.
how close we are to it. They've been nothing but amazing to us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when this building went up for sale, I had council members looking for spaces for us in Cornwall and calling people around to see if there was a space to keep us
here.
in
Yeah.
their town. There's a place down the street that's for sale that we would love to get.
If anyone wants to give us $600,000,
You want to seed $650,000 to us so that we can buy this
It's-
property. We'll pay you back.
honestly, it's the perfect space. It's got 2 units and a downstairs, so we could store the machines and have a workshop downstairs, have our cafe, candy store.
3,200 square feet up above, 3,200 square feet down below. It'd be amazing.
And then the arcade on the other side.
We're
We
just-
could have party rooms, and yeah, it would just be great. So
we talked to business financials people, and he was just like, you're just too young to do a loan. Like he said, in a couple of years you shouldn't have any problem doing it, but right now you've only been open a year. I don't think anybody's going to give you money at a rate that you're going to appreciate.
Yeah. But that, like, so there are, a couple places available. So we're just keeping along here. Like, we've got the freeze-dried candy thing that we're going to be starting soon. And we had mentioned earlier, take that and some machines over to the farmer's market. They asked us to come when we first opened if we wanted to bring machines in. So our goal is to do that. And so, diversifying. We've got the merch, we've got all the different drinks, we've got the candy. And then, it's not for sure yet. The thing that we're thinking about doing in the summer, getting certified,
We'll talk about that
later.
Yeah.
And this will be fun if it works out.
Yeah.
Anyways, so it's been good, and we really liked it here, and everyone's been really supportive that has come in, and customers, when they heard that we might have to close, like our realtor now was a customer, and she is great whenever she sees something that comes up still, even though we're not in a place where we feel like we have to move right now, but she lets us know if something pops up. We still go look at spaces, but we just want to, since we're not in a rush, we just want to find that perfect space with low overhead where we can move everything in, expand, that sort of thing. Sorry, we're behind.
You should make more of those I suck at pinball videos from a long time. Those are fun. I wanted to do I've seen videos of people playing pinball and showing you how to play the pinball, what the rules are and all of that. And it's just like a person playing a game, and the screen is all like on one side. It's kind of like live stream pinball where you got a bunch of really tiny windows and you can't really see what's going on. So I came up with the idea that wouldn't it be cool to be able to explain some of these games, but we have to do it in a different way. So that was the carrier that I came up with, is that I don't know how to play these games, and some of them I didn't know how to play. I had played them, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And so to get a couple friends that had those machines, it's like, and they had fun making them. I like doing them with Brian, because Brian's just kind of all over the top. He's like, he has fun with everything he does in life. That
Yeah.
Brian, he loves it, and he's got a really nice collection. We had a lot of fun doing that.
I wonder, like, we've got a couple, like, Jacob loves Starship Troopers. You could probably have Jacob come in and do I Suck at Pinball with at Starship Troopers. You could get Grant to do Genesis with you.
Yeah, Grant would probably do it.
Grant-
Jacob would be hilarious because
Yeah.
he's very animated and funny.
I mean, I think we could probably find a couple regulars and their favorite machines. Colin would probably do Roadshow with you. Colin really likes Roadshow.
I don't think Colin would do a video.
You never know.
He's a little shy.
Yeah, but you never know.
I don't know.
Anyways,
If I could find someone who wants to show me how to play games, some that I already know how to play, and I'll just pretend like I don't, then I'll make some more.
Just 'cause-
it was a fun series to do.
yeah,
It was a lot of
just
fun.
because we own them doesn't mean that we're good at them. Everyone I was always like, oh, I bet you're amazing at pinball. And I'm like, no, but
No,
I like
still suck
playing
at
them.
pinball.
Yeah.
I do suck at pinball. I'm not that great. Although I do have a couple of high scores in here, but it was a fluke.
I had some high scores and then someone knocked me off the board.
Batman 66 might be nice. I've seen the game. I have not played it.
There's
And that for a theme like that, I guess an older, more classic theme, I guess I'm more okay with than something that's newer,
yeah.
pop culture-y kind of thing. I guess it's just kind of the way I look at it. Because like old school Batman, that just never gets old, I guess. Right?
Well, and we were looking at, it's not a great game, but it's a great theme, is OG Star Trek. And there's a pinball machine. We almost, long story, got it. But then someone else, it was sold to somebody else. But a game like that would be a theme where everybody knows it, and it's still very popular. It still would be. So something like that.
That game's kind of shit.
No, but that's what I like.
But the theme of it.
Yeah, I think people would still.
Captain Kirk and yeah.
I think would still be popular in here because of the theme and the nostalgia for it. But it's not necessarily a good game.
Dom says, I know who Kraftwerk is. Do you know who Telex is? Or Computer? Telex, Computer not so much, but Telex is the other band that, yeah. How are the two coasts different? So,
Snow? No snow.
yeah. People-wise, BC is a very international town. Is very, like Vancouver proper is very international, which is one of the things I love about it. There's like various neighborhoods around that are sort of regional, even regional dialect, right? Like there's a couple places there's Richmond, just outside of Vancouver, that is almost like a little Hong Kong, and you can go there and you can go into the stores and the person who's helping you doesn't know how to speak English. It's amazing. It's really cool. And all of the stuff that you buy there is all from like China and Hong Kong, and like all the food products and stuff. And you go to another area and it's very Italian, kind of that sort of and then there's one area that's very South Asian, so a lot of Indian population, a lot of amazing Indian food.
Amazing Indian
it's,
restaurants.
yeah. Here, not so much. But it's the island is very unique to the rest of kind of the Maritimes, I think. Just because it's been sort of isolated, so it's developed its own culture, different than like what you would find in Halifax or Moncton or one of the other larger towns in the area. And it has a very like Irish, Scottish background.
Scottish. A lot.
And there is some parts of the island, especially up at the northern tip, the
Up west.
northwestern tip of the island, that area, Tignish. There are people that they have never left that area. They've lived there their entire life. They've never come to Charlottetown. They've never gone to like
People in Summerside, 40 minutes
Yeah.
away, that have never
30,
been
40
to
minutes
Charlottetown.
away down to well, in Tignish they rarely go to
Summerside.
Summerside. They don't leave the island, and they're just kind of up there doing their thing, and it's just isolated and stuff. It's a little bit more laid back on the island. One thing that we found when we moved here, we had to have some trades work done. Like we had to have the roof done. I had to have a plumber come in. I have no experience or had no experience with having a well. Like that's we get our water from a well, and I wasn't quite sure. This was we had just moved into the house and we needed to work on the well. I didn't have really time to research it. I didn't. I just thought I'll just throw money at someone and have them do the work I needed to have done. That was
You did a
hard.
really good job.
It was hard to get someone in to work on this stuff.
On anything.
Yeah, we tried to get an accountant for the business, and we got ghosted so many times where we call up and either they wouldn't take our call, or they're like, oh yeah, sure, I can help you out, and then they would send us, here's a list of the things I need from you. We would send the stuff off to them, and then we'd never hear from them again. I call them and message them. It was really hard to get an accountant to help us with our taxes first year. I don't know why, but yeah, it's very laid back in town. People are a little bit more casual on the island, and I've always lived in big cities for the most part. I did live in a little vacation town in Oregon for a while, and a little farming town in Oregon for a while. The farming town was brutal, horrible. I didn't like that at all. But I've lived in Seattle and Portland and Vancouver and areas around Vancouver and stuff. And so I've always been in kind of bigger towns. So we're very rural here. We live out in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the woods. So I like it. Yeah. Different change of pace. Let's see. Let's catch up. There's a Popeye game. I'd like to get a Popeye. That's a weird game. It's speaking of wide bodies, that's a big game. Yeah. Have you done any more playfield clear coating? That's how I found you on YouTube. I haven't done anything like that since we moved. The next one that will probably get that treatment, I need to finish my Black Knight retheme. So that's probably the next thing that I'm going to do, because I have some lettering to do on that. A little bit more painting. I wasn't necessarily happy with the upper playfield and the Knights Who Say Knee. There's some stuff I want to change on that. It didn't come out. I was trying to change the theme a little bit up there, like the style, and I just wasn't happy with the results. So I want to change that a little bit. It has a single clear coat on it of automotive clear. So I'll need to put down the lettering, do some painting, and then it'll get a couple more coats of clear, and then that should be done. It doesn't have a whole lot to do. And then, what else do I have that I would need to do that on? Oh, I guess the next one also would be, I have Spectrum, and the paint on Spectrum is starting to really take some damage. We had it in here for a little while, and then I was like, I gotta pull it because it's gonna be harder and harder to paint. The more paint it loses. So that's one that I'll probably do a video on touching that up, and that will probably actually get an automotive clear on that one. Just because I think that one would be better if it plays a little bit faster, because it's such a weird game to begin with. If it plays a little bit faster, I think it'll make it even weirder. So yeah. LED bulbs are incandescent. Both. I use them both. It depends on what it is. So I prefer incandescence in a lot of the EM machines, but I like to add on EM machines where they have white inserts. A lot of times I'll add an LED, colored LED in there to give it a more of a splash of color. We can do, let's go walk around and have a look. Let me fire up my Camera Safari Adventure Time. Hold please. Let's get this going here. Let's go take a look, and I'll show you kind of what I've done on them. Camera Safari Adventure Time. So on Palooka, these are white inserts. I've made them green, which I thought was kind of cool. These had green rings on them, so I added green LEDs to this. there are red LEDs in behind here to just make it a little bit more red, and same with this. I need to actually replace some bulbs. I've lost some bulbs here. These are actually LEDs in here. This one might have gotten, no, there's all the burnt out ones in there are incandescents. Same with volley. I color coded some in there and up here in the lanes, just because I think it adds a little bit of extra something. On Royal Flush, there's these 3 colors. I added matching LEDs for those to add a pop of color. This is a green LED. This one's actually a white LED because I had run out of green at that point. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but this is more green than that is. And this purple color is richer with an LED on it. There was one other that I did that too. I try not to go too overboard. Like Dragon has, it has reds in here. These are purple because it kind of gives it a little bit of extra color, and it matches the pink that's, you can't really see that in the camera, but he's pink, and there's not a lot of there's a purple in here. Try not to go too overboard. Genie, looks like I have a couple lights out. These two are sort of a light purple. They're sort of a pink. I thought that added a little bit, kind of matches, but these are color coded. But so Alien Poker was one of the first ones that I played with. This is my second pinball machine I ever had, and I went totally crazy with the LEDs. And it's a little clown puke, but whatever. It's an ugly game anyway, so it can be clown puke. On Monaco, this one still has all the original bulbs, all the incandescent bulbs. Probably what I will do, because these are blue, I might blue these. And then I might color code these, so where they're in the little red, I might make those red or something. All of this stuff will stay regular colors. I might do something here, I'm not sure. But if there's something that matches, then like these are in orange triangles and yellow triangles. I might try orange and yellow in there just to see how that works. But yeah, so I just kind of use them. We were talking about this earlier too, is that this is all incandescent. I want to change this all over to LED just because it runs really hot. But this bar along the top, I will leave incandescent because it has that nice fluid motion. And the same is with roller games. I have a light bulb out, apparently. This has a nice fluid motion. I originally had put LEDs in there, and it was just very chunky, and you couldn't really tell that it was doing this figure 8 motion. It just looked kind of spastic. So I actually changed those back to incandescent. Oh, and up here on Speakeasy, the blue lanes get blue LEDs. The red caps get red LEDs. I think everything else I just color matched. Like where it's green, it's probably green in there. I didn't do anything super special on this. These are blue, so that's blue in there. But that was Camera Safari Adventure Time. Squeeze by.
Time to go home.
Yeah, I think it's almost time. Let's see, do we have any other questions here? What is the option on incandescent with color caps? I don't really like those. I have a few. If I'm replacing it instead of using the little sponge, I think that's what you're talking about, like the little condom that goes on the incandescent bulb. I'll just use a frosted LED if I'm replacing it. Those never look great anyway. Your LED treatment on Royal Flush is a great way to do it. I like doing it that way, where I just give it a little
Yeah.
extra kick of color, but I don't go total clown puke. And I don't mind adding incandescence to EMs if it looks fine. I had to put the blue, the not the natural sort of yellowy LEDs. Almost all the bulbs in Nippet had gone out, and all I had were sort of the more kind of brilliant white ones. So I put them in Nippet for now, and it looks like ass. I really don't like the way it looks. It's very bright, but it looks wrong to me. Like it needs more of that yellow
Warmth.
color. Yeah, a little. So when I get some more in, I'll swap those out. But, yeah, so I think we're gonna end it because we gotta close up and go home
Go
and
eat pizza.
we have pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us. And I mean, Tom, let us know about your cyclone if you're interested. But in all seriousness, we have done shipping with Day and Ross. They're really fantastic. And sometimes you can find a location a little bit further than your house, but it's cheaper. So for us, if we want to get a game shipped, we have a friend now that has a place in Moncton. He said that if we want to get a game shipped over to Moncton, then he'd pick it up for us and we could pick it up from him. And that would save us like $200. It just coming across the bridge is more. So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind, folks.
And it would be the same for shipping out too, because we can
Yeah.
actually take it to Moncton, and if we could save a couple $100, and it costs us $50 to get over the bridge, and then an extra like $10 in gas. That's a savings. So
Yeah.
worth doing, I guess. I mean, we're saving money on hiring a broker to handle our Big Lebowski. We're having it shipped to a location in Maine. We're just gonna go grab it and take it over the border ourselves and save the whatever they would charge us for the brokerage fees on that. So
Yeah. All right. Well, have a lovely
All right.
evening, folks. Thanks for joining us. And we're going to try and do this every Saturday.
yes, we're gonna try
So,
it. Yeah.
Maybe see
And
you
I'll try
next
and
week.
figure out how to do. Maybe next one I'll
Do
figure
both.
out how to do on both Twitch and
YouTube.
YouTube and see how that works. But right.
Bye.
See ya. Says your stream will stop.